Live on a Saturday night, it's Utah Grizzlies hockey, as it's the second of a three-game series as the Grizzlies take on the Tahoe Knight Monsters. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Utah Grizzlies hockey. I'm Tyson Whiting. Face-offs in about 15 minutes from now as the Grizzlies are over at Tahoe Blue Event Center in State Line, Nevada, as they take on the Knight Monsters for the second time this season. Second of 9 regular season meetings between the clubs, and it's been a very, very long road trip for the Grizzlies. It is the 8th straight road game for Utah. The road trip will conclude on Sunday afternoon in Tahoe, and then the Grizzlies obviously will be home next weekend for a 3-game set against Tahoe Knight Kansas City Mavericks. Last night, the Grizzlies lost 6-3 as Tahoe got a first period goal from Jake Derflinger. And then originally we thought that Blake Wells had made it a 2-0 game. Wells, a former Grizzly, but it was determined earlier today that it was Connor Merritt that scored instead of Blake Wells. And so Merritt got his second of the year, with Wells and Collins getting the assists. Grizzlies got second period goals from Danny Genev, 6:47 in, and John Gillette with a power play goal, 11:05 in to tie it up at 2. But then the Knight Monsters responded with 2 goals in the final 5 minutes of the second period, as Jordan Gustafson found the back of the net, 15:23 in. And then Casey Bailey got a great feed from Luke Adam, and Bailey got his 15th of the year, 18:07 into the second. Tahoe led 4-2 after 2 periods. Grizzlies got on the board in the first minute of the third period as Reed Lebster redirected a Neil Shea shot, and that was 49 seconds in as Lebster got his team leading 16th of the year. Neil Shea and Aiden Hansen-Bukata each extended their assist streak to 4 straight games. Devon Poliani scored 4:34 into the third period. That made it a 5-3 Tahoe lead, and then Poliani scored an empty netter, 16:01 into the third, and that gave Tahoe a 6-3 lead, and that's how it ended. Grizzlies outshot the Knight Monsters 34-23. Utah did win the special teams battle as they were 1 for 3 on the power play and 1 for 1 on the penalty kill. So we'll see what happens tonight. Looks like we got an identical goaltending matchup tonight. Dylan Wells will get the start for the Grizzlies. He'll be going up against Tahoe's Jordan Paperny, as Paperny's got a record of 8-3-0-1 this season with a .916 save percentage. Well, it should be a ton of fun. We're hanging out in the Professional Green Studios just outside the Grizzlies team store at Maverick Center, as the Grizzlies are a time zone away in the Pacific time zone as they're taking on the Tahoe Knight Monsters. When we come back, we'll go over the lineups for both teams. We're in business on a Saturday night, and you're listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Grisby commutes to work by riding UTA. It gives him time to make friends and relax before arriving to the Maverick Center. But how can Grisby keep enjoying that feeling throughout the entire day? An idea! Utah Transit Authority, proud sponsors of the Utah Grizzlies.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to AmericaFirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Welcome back to Utah Grizzlies hockey. I'm Tyson Whiting. Face-offs in about 10 minutes from now over at Tahoe Blue Event Center. Grizzlies come in with a record of 13-15-3. They're on a 3-game losing streak. They do have a standings point in 5 of their last 8 games. It's a Saturday night, and Saturdays are all right for standings points. Utah is 5-3-1 on Saturdays this season, so they've had a lot of success in this particular day of the week. And how about Utah in terms of the shot count? Obviously, they had a big edge in the shot count last night's game against the Tahoe Knight Monsters. Grizzlies with 34 shots at Tahoe's 23. Grizzlies have taken 199 shots over the last 5 games. That's an average of just under 40 per contest, or I guess if you want go technical, it can go 39.80 shots per game for the Grizzlies over the last 5 contests. Let's go over the lineups for both teams. First, for the visiting Grizzlies, who are led by first-year head coach John Buchanan. The assistant coaches are Ryan Anderson and Jack Skilley. The equipment manager is DJ McFarland, and the athletic trainer is Brooke Timoney. Sage Weinstein, there was one bit of news earlier today. Weinstein was recalled to the AHL's Colorado Eagles. Weinstein had 2 assists in 26 games, including 1 helper last night. So the Grizzlies are going with 11 forwards and 5 defensemen this evening. Unfortunately, we have not been handed the starters for the Grizzlies, but we do know the top forward line from left to right is going to include the captain, Tyler Gratton, who has 6 goals and 10 assists in 25 games. Evan Friesen has a point in 7 of his last 10 games. Friesen has 7 goals and 7 assists in 31 games. And Reed Lebster scored an early third-period goal last night. Lebster leads the Grizzlies with 16 goals this season. He has 16 goals and 7 assists in 31 games. And he's been a consistent performer for the Grizzlies as he has a goal in 5 of his last 8 games. So that's the top forward line for the Grizzlies. Gratton, Friesen, and Lebster. Second forward line is going to include Neil Shea, who's got an assist in 4 straight games. Riley Connors is averaging about a point per game over the last couple of weeks. He has 5 points in his last 5 games. He'll be wearing number 10. And Maxim Barbashev is also going to be in that second line as the right wing. He had an assist last night, and he has 3 goals and 6 assists in 15 games. The starting forward line, as we've just been handed the starting lineups, is going to include Gratton, Friesen, and Lebster. So that's going to be the starting forward line for the Grizzlies tonight. Shea's going to be lined up with Connors and Barbashev. We'll see Stepan Timofeyev on the third line left wing. He's going to be lined up with Jack Ricketts, who's a first-year pro. Ricketts has 8 goals and 9 assists in 25 games. And Danny Genev, the Grizzlies all-star representative, who this season has 12 goals and 16 assists in 37 games. He has 7 goals in his last 7 games. And we will also see John Gillette, who scored a second-period goal last night. Gillette has 6 goals and 5 assists in 31 games, and he's going to be paired up with Sean Kennedy, who made his Grizzlies debut last night. Kennedy wearing number 17 at 6 feet and 190 pounds. So the starters, once again, are Gratton, Friesen, and Lebster. The starting defensive pairing is going to include Aiden Hansen-Bukata, who's tied for second among all-league rookies with 16 assists. He is tied with Genev for second among rookies, and Genev and Hansen-Bukata are also tied for the club lead in assists, as both guys have 16. Colby Enns was a +1 last night. He is a +7 to lead the Grizzlies this season. He's also going to be in the starting lineup. So Hansen-Bukata and Enns are the starting defensive pairing. We will also see Luke Salem along with Noah Gansky and Robbie Stucker, as the Grizzlies are rolling with 11 forwards and 5 defensemen. According to the transaction report earlier today, the Grizzlies did claim a defenseman from waivers from the Adirondack Thunder, and maybe he'll play tomorrow, or maybe he'll join the club for the next week's series against the Kansas City Mavericks. As earlier today, Sage Weinstein was recalled to the AHL's Colorado Eagles. So that's the 16 on the ice for the Grizzlies tonight. Scratches include Rylan Kovacevic, along with Luke Manning, who's missing his 6th straight game. Christoph Villion and Christian Felton are also out of the Grizzlies lineup. When we come back in 30 seconds, we'll go over the lineup for the Tahoe Knight Monsters. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
Welcome back to the Grizzlies Hockey Network. I'm Tyson Whiting. Face-offs in a few minutes. The Grizzlies take on the Tahoe Knight Monsters. Now let's go over the lineup for the Knight Monsters, who have a record of 19, 12, 1, and 2. They're 11, 7, 0, and 1 at home. They're going to be led by goaltender Jordan Paperny, who's making his 13th appearance this season. Paperny's got a record of 8, 3, 0, and 1 with a 3.29 goals against average and 9.16 save percentage. Paperny stopped 31 of 34 in last night's game. We don't have the starters for the Knight Monsters, but we do know a couple guys to watch out for. Trent Zwick had 1 assist last night. He has a goal in 6 of his last 7 games, and he's on a current 7-game point scoring streak. Casey Bailey, the reigning league player of the week, scored a goal last night in the second period. It turned out to be the game winner. Bailey is 34 years old, and he has 13 games of NHL experience, as Bailey played in 6 games with the 2014-2015 Toronto Maple Leafs. And then a couple years, the following year, the 2016-2017 season, he played in 2 years after. He played in 6 games of the Maple Leafs. He played in 7 games with the Ottawa Senators. He did have 1 goal in the 6-game stretch in 2015 with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Bailey is 34 years old, out of Anchorage, Alaska. He played his college hockey at Penn State University, but that was well before Danny Genev and Tyler Gratton stepped on the Penn State campus. Also got to watch out for Devon Paglioni, who scored 2 goals last night, both of them in the third period. He's got 17 goals this season. Tahoe's got a very experienced team. They've got a lot of veterans. Luke Adam, the Tahoe captain's in his 16th season as a pro. He's got 90 games of NHL experience, most of them with the Buffalo Sabres. He also has 3 games of experience with the Columbus Blue Jackets. Adam was a former second-round pick, 44th overall by the Buffalo Sabres in 2008. And so he is 35 years old, 16th-year pro. And even though he may have lost a step, he is a -20 this season. Did feed a beautiful pass out towards Casey Bailey for the Tahoe. A goal late in the second period that turned out to be the game winner to give Tahoe a 4-2 lead. Also got to watch out for Mike O'Leary. It was 7 goals and 11 assists in 28 games. Jake McGrew has 8 goals and 6 assists in 24 games. He's a California native. Jake Derflinger scored a first-period goal for the Knight Monsters last night. Also scoring a goal last night was Connor Merritt. Originally, that goal was credited to Blake Wells, but they changed their mind and figured out that Merritt was the one that touched the puck last. And also watch out for Anthony Collins, who's in his 13th season as a pro. He's a physical presence, and he is a +6 in 32 games this season. When we come back, we'll have face-off on the other side as Utah's looking to end their 3-game losing skid as they take on the Knight Monsters, who are a high-powered offense, as they are averaging 3.6 goals per game, which ranks 3rd in the league. We'll come back and have face-off on the other side. You've been tuned into the pregame report on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear, we made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down, we go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, and partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Great night for hockey as two big standings points are on the line as Utah Grizzlies take on the Tahoe Knight Monsters in the second of a three-game baseball-style weekend series. We'll see if the Grizzlies can end their three-game losing skid. They have given up 19 goals in their last three games. We'll see if the Grizzlies can get on the board first. That's been one of the things over the last handful of the games the Grizzlies have struggled getting off to an early lead. Dylan Wells will get the start in net for Utah. He's got a record of 7-9-2. He has an .880 save percentage and 3.99 goals against average. He does have one shutout, which came on October 24th against the Idaho Steelheads. And speaking of shutouts, how about Trent Miner, the Grizzlies' all-time shutout king? He had 10 regular season shutouts and one playoff shutout for the Grizzlies. He got his first NHL victory, and it turned out to be a 4-0 shutout victory against the Columbus Blue Jackets. So congratulations to Trent Miner, who's one of the greatest goaltenders in Grizzlies history. He picked up his first NHL victory, and it turned out to be a shutout, 4-0 over Columbus. And it was also a good day for Charles-Edouard Dastu. King Dastu had 2 assists for the Tampa Bay Lightning in their 7-2 victory. And so Dastu and Miner starring in the National Hockey League, and there's no wonder why the Grizzlies were an outstanding club in that 2021-22 season, winning the Mountain Division and getting all the way to the Western Conference Finals. The two captains with the ceremonial puck drops, Luke Adam for Tahoe and Tyler Gratton for the Grizzlies, as Utah is going to roll in tonight with a white jersey with black numbers and professional green trim, as Tyler Gratton will be in the starting lineup along with Evan Friesen and Reed Webster. Emil Sharon is the referee. It's the 8th different game that Sharon has officiated involving the Grizzlies this season. Austin Bove and Will Anderson are the linesmen. 20 minutes are put on the scoreboard clock, or at least on the score bug, and please, we ask for a ton of patience, as unfortunately we are at the mercy of this video feed, which was very shady last night. Friesen will take the draw against Michael Leary, who's out there with Luke Adam and Jake McGrew. As Emil Sharon, the referee, drops the puck and we're underway. Grizzlies skate from right to left as we see it on Flow Sports. And Tahoe from left to right. Left wing feed out to center ice off a Gratton stick. Tahoe gets the puck and they'll backhand it towards Jake McGrew. Slices one across, bouncing off the stick of Colby Enns, who's out there with Aiden Hansen-Bukata. Grizzlies dump it in from center ice as Tahoe in kind of a teal-looking color jersey with white on the shoulders, white numbers, white lettering in the back. It's kind of a military-themed weekend over in Tahoe. It's Night Monsters cross center ice. O'Leary dumps it in, and O'Leary and Hansen-Bukata get acquainted with a couple pushes and shoves at each other. As Friesen kicked it off a Tahoe skate, Grizzlies will bounce one on towards Paperny, who cuts it off in front of the crease. Play continues. Utah gets their first shot on goal 45 seconds into the game. Grizzlies are averaging about 40 shots per game over the last 5 contests. Nate Callan will slide it across. He's paired up with Samuel Mayer, who just came over from the AHL's Henderson Silver Knights. As the Night Monsters roll down the middle of the ice, righty shot. That one's blocked away. That shot was taken by Casey Bailey, the 34-year-old Penn State product, former Maple Leaf and former Ottawa Senator. As Tahoe gets it back towards the right wing, Callan gets to the high slot. Mayer feeds it towards the right side, but the pass was too hot for Mayer to handle. As Grizzlies get it back towards Neil Shea. He's in the left wing. Shea steps over the offensive line, skates towards the left corner. He fires a sharp-angled shot, and that hits the side of the net. The whistle blows, and play stops with 18:36 left in the first. So the Grizzlies have taken the first couple shots here tonight. Draw's going to be, I'm not sure where the draw is going to be. It looked like it was going to come back to neutral ice. Both teams switch up skaters. Just the start of things, so grab some chips and dip and a beverage of your choice and enjoy part of Saturday with us. We know on a night like tonight, there's an incredible amount of sports and entertainment options out there. We appreciate everybody who chose the Grizzlies tonight. Now the faceoff is going to be towards center ice, and I think we missed some interesting action. I'm not sure why the whistle blew, and I'm not sure why the faceoff is going to be out towards center ice. And I'm also not sure why Noah Gansky and a Tahoe player are talking with the referee at center ice. So we must have missed something. Sean Kennedy is going to take the draw at neutral ice. He's lined up with Neil Shea and Maxime Barbashev. Kennedy made a strong first impression. He had 2 shots on goal last night in his Grizzlies debut. Kennedy initially looked like he was going to win the draw, but it tapped off a Shea stick back towards Tahoe. Still no score, a minute and a half in. Night Monsters dump it in as Dylan Wells raises his left arm, and icing is on Tahoe. So we'll go back towards Jordan Paperny for the faceoff with 18:27. That's the time remaining in this first period. Got to get off to a quick start against this Tahoe team as the Knight Monsters have outscored opponents 40-24 in the first periods this year. Grizzlies are 8-1-1 on the road when scoring first, so it's important for them to get off to a quick start. However, they're just 2-6-1 on the road when the opposition scores first. Puck back to Neutralize. Barbashev gets physical with a good shoulder check on Derflinger. Tahoe gets it deep into the Grizzlies zone. Robbie Stucker gets it. Remember, the Grizzlies are rolling with 5 defensemen tonight as Sage Weinstein was recalled to the AHL's Colorado Eagles earlier today. Tahoe crosses center ice, and they'll plop one on towards Wells, who sticks it towards the far corner. Grizzlies skate from right to left in the period as Aiden Hansen-Buchanan, 16 assists this year. He's got an assist 4 straight. He right wing feeds it out towards Jack Ricketts. Ricketts skates towards the corner. He gets spun around. That was a penalty on Grattan last night in that very same play. This time it's let go as Genev gets bounced towards the boards by Blake Wells, the former Grizzly. Wells played in 3 games for Utah during the 2023-24 season and 1 game at the start of last season before suffering a season-ending injury. As Tahoe gets it back up top, right point, cap check, righty shot, saved by Wells. Cap check, the former Newfoundland Growler. Now left wing, lefty shot saved by Wells. Rebound goes towards Utah. As dangling back and forth is Noah Gansky, who's got an A on his sweater. Gansky backs it out in his own zone. Everybody kind of spreads around the ice. Gansky with a rink-wide feed that goes wide of the mark, and it goes deep into the Tahoe zone. Actually, it's more of a north-south pass along the far wing boards as Jake McGrew dances around. McGrew's got good speed. He accelerates towards Neutralize, dumps it in, and skates after the puck. McGrew couldn't quite get there before Stucker. Now Hansen-Buchanan at the near goal line. He'll tap it off the glass. Puck goes towards the right point. Callum righty shot gets redirected and a score. I think it might have gotten redirected as Callum from the right point fired away, and Jake McGrew redirected it, and McGrew gets his 9th goal of the year. And the Knight Monsters take a 1-0 lead with 16:55 left in the first. The lights go flickering on and off over at Tahoe Blue Event Center. As Hansen-Buchanan fed it up, it was cut off in the right point, and then McGrew fired away, or it looked like the shot was taken by Callan, and Callan threw it towards McGrew, redirected it in the right circle, and just got some air under it and got past Dylan Wells. So McGrew gets his 9th goal of the year. One of the assists will go to Nate Callan. It will be his 19th assist of the year, and I believe Callan will get the lone assist. So the Knight Monsters, they win the draws. They score first. We talked about the importance of scoring first. Now the Grizzlies are going to have to play catch up. They're going to be looking to get some momentum back over the next couple shifts. As Utah's got the puck, Stucker moves it at about 30 feet towards Lebster. Tape to tape. Lebster bounces one towards his right to Grattan. Grattan backhand shot saved by Paperny. He gloved it about knee high in the butterfly position as he holds on. 16:35 left in the first, and the Grizzlies will have an offensive zone draw. Both teams will switch up skaters. It's the second of a baseball-style 3-game series. A night game won by Tahoe 6-3 last night. Obviously tonight, 8 o'clock start, 7 o'clock locally over in Nevada in the Pacific time zone. Then Sunday afternoon will be a 4 p.m. Mountain time zone start. Riley Connors will take the draw. The Yale and St. Lawrence product. Draw won by Utah as Gansky will move it towards Barbashev, who collides with Casey Bailey, the 34-year-old former NHLer, as the puck slides back towards Utah ice, near ice, as Trent Zwick gets the puck and he'll bounce one across. Tahoe enters from the left wing as they get cut off. Gansky takes the puck over in the far corner. He'll skate around Wells' net. Now he stops. The former Fort Wayne Comet will move it ahead towards the right wing. Somebody off the screen's got the puck. Now they get it to the right side. Shea enters the zone. Shea fires a lefty shot, and that one's bounced off of Paperny. Puck towards the right goal line. Shea hiding from the score bug, skates around Tahoe's net, wraparound shot saved by Paperny. Now shot from Connors, and that one's saved by Paperny again as the Knight Monsters will drag it out towards neutral ice. Rink-wide feed angle left goes towards Bailey, who lofts it in deep into the Grizzlies zone. Wells behind his net will push it towards Luke Salem. It goes past him along the near wing boards as taking the puck and accelerating out towards neutral ice is Danny Janea, the Penn State product. Skates in, toe drag, lefty shot goes wide as he missed the net, stick side on Paperny. Boy, he didn't miss by much, though. As puck back towards left wing, Tahoe runs it down. The Knight Monsters will throw a rink-wide feed, incomplete out at neutral ice, and goes all the way down for a Tahoe icing as there's 15:21 left in the first. There's quite a few icings for the Knight Monsters here early on. In terms of the shot count, according to the score bug, there's 3 apiece. Jake McGrew scored 307 in. Nate Callan, and somehow they invented an assist for Luke Adam, even though it looked like the puck went from Hanson Bukatu, tried to move it back to Neutrice. It was cut off by Callan, and then Callan fired away and was redirected by McGrew. Somehow they've invented an assist for Luke Adam. Maybe they'll change that a little bit later. And if Adam does get an assist, that will be his 11th of the year. As puck will plop back towards Neutrice. Robbie Stucker will throw it back towards Hanson Bukata, who moves it back towards Stucker. And with 5 defensemen, Grizzlies will probably have a different defensive pairing all night long. As Ricketts back behind Tahoe's net, he gets cut off by Adam Pitters, who got in a fight with Cade Nielsen last season. As the Knight Monsters get it out towards their flinger, but it was overled for him. Hanson Bukata back towards Gillette, and he'll move a rink-wide feed angle right towards Genev. Genev gets pushed by Samuel Mayer. John Gillette over in the corner. Genev tries to join the play as Gillette tried to drop it for Genev, instead faked it, fires a lefty shot that goes wide. Webster gets it off the boards. He'll skate back towards the right point. Now Webster cycles it back to the spot he vacated. Genev sweeps one out in front, and it's cut off by Paperny at the far goal line, and he will hold on with 14:32 left in the first. Good passing by the Grizzlies on that particular line with Gillette and Danny Genev leading the way. The fans look like they're having a good time. Grizzlies now outshot the Knight Monsters 4-3. Not sure that we've seen Stepan Timofeyev out there. Timofeyev missed a good portion of the third period. Hopefully, we'll see him out there shortly. The Grizzlies are already shorthanded as we speak with 16 skaters, 11 forwards, and 5 defensemen. Friesen will take the draw against Blake Wells. Wells was on the Grizzlies roster all year last season as he suffered a season-ending injury, I believe, in the regular season opener against the Idaho Steelheads. As draw won by Utah, Grattan fires lefty shot, and that's bounced off a Tahoe player, and it misses wide. As Webster feeds it up top, right point, righty shot, and that one's blocked away by Paperny. The puck pinballs around in front of the crease. Now the Grizzlies will pitch it back up top towards Salem. Salem curls it back towards the left corner for Friesen. Now Friesen drops it for Webster back to the middle of the ice. Shot by Grattan, saved by Paperny. Now the Knight Monsters cleared out to center ice. Salem retreats and gets the puck in the Grizzlies zone as he will skate towards Wells' net. Now he'll push it towards his right. Grizzlies outlet it to center ice off the boards as Friesen chases after it. Paperny cuts it off behind his net. Now a turnover as Lepser gets it left side. He tried to move it across, but the pass is behind Grattan, who gets it off the wall. As Gansky fires towards the net and then misses. That might have actually been a Robbie Stucker who's been out there with Hanson Bukata. Puck on the outside of the cage is just kind of hanging. And so they blow the whistle and stop play with 13:41 left in the first. Time out on the ice. Knight Monsters took a 1-0 lead as Jake McGrew redirected a Nate Callan shot 3:07 in. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
Tahoe leads Utah 1-0 as Jake McGrew redirected a Nate Callan shot 3:07 in. As the time remaining in this first period is 13 minutes and 41 seconds. It's Military Appreciation Weekend over in Tahoe. Remember, the Grizzlies will have Military Night on Saturday, March 14th, as they take on the Tulsa Oilers at 7:10. Gear tickets, UtahGrizzlies.com. Connors will take the draw against Mike O'Leary, who's even in the plus-minus category this year. Tahoe wins the face-off. They skate around Paperny's net, and they'll sky it out to Neutrice. Hanson Bukata will bounce off a Knight Monster. As Colby Enns gets the puck, he leads Utah with a +7 rating. He was a +1 last night. He'll guide it ahead looking for Sean Kennedy. Now the puck's back to Neutrice As Neil Shea enters the offensive zone, he dumps in, he gets cut off by Kapchek. Both guys are former Newfoundland Growlers. As puck back towards the far side, Tahoe will spin it ahead, but not very far. Grizzlies get it to Neil Shea, who's got an A on his sweater. Shea along the left wing boards, bounces one across. Stucker fires a righty shot. That gets redirected and goes wide. Tahoe will drag the puck out to New Trice. Now they'll chip it towards their left. Tahoe over the offensive line as they drop and lose control of the puck as Connors gets it ahead. Grizzlies back towards center ice. Now Neil Shea. He'll leave it for Gillette, left wing. He'll take a lefty shot. Saved by Paperny. Boy, the Grizzlies got some traffic out in front with Salem as Gillette just tried to thread the needle, and Paperny was able to glove it and hold on with 12:49 left in the first. You know, we're saying going in, the Grizzlies were going with 11 forwards and 5 defensemen. However, I've not seen Stepan Timofeyev out there, so the Grizzlies might be rolling with 15 skaters this evening. As Jack Ricketts is out there with Danny Genev. Draw's going to be over in the left circle. The face-off circle is a roulette wheel, at least the outside portion of the face-off circle. As John Gillette's on that line with Ricketts and Genev. Ricketts, a first-year pro. He's got an AHL contract with the Tucson Roadrunners. He'll take the draw against Casey Bailey, who's a +7 this year. This draw won by Utah is Hanson Bukanda, left wing. He'll get to Genev, left goal line, over to Ricketts. Lefty shot, saved by Paperny. Rebound goes towards the middle of the ice. Taken by Gansky. Will skate back towards the right wing boards. Now he fires a righty shot that misses wide. He was looking for a redirection from Gillette. Now Ricketts gets pushed by Bailey. Puck gets plopped back towards New Trice. Jack Ricketts will skate back in from the right side. He tries to accelerate, but the whistle blows as Utah's called for offside with 12:28 left in the first. Grizzlies have outshot the Knight Monsters 10-3. That's not unusual for Tahoe to allow that many shots. They have allowed 38.4 shots per game, which is the most in the league. The Grizzlies, we mentioned, are averaging about 40 shots per game over the last 5 contests, and they're averaging about 35 shots per game over the last 16 games. So Grizzlies really have picked it up in terms of getting scoring chances and getting good shots off at a regular pace over the last month. Grizzlies have the puck in their own zone as Stucker will move it out, rink wide, and Paperny raises his left arm, and all 3 officials raise their right arms as icing is on Utah with 12:17 left in the first. So you talk about a 3-game and 3-day series, 3 games less than 48 hours, and the Grizzlies being as shorthanded as they are, and unfortunately that seems to be a constant theme. We'll see if we can see Timofeyev out there, but I haven't seen him. So it looks like the Grizzlies are rolling with just 10 forwards this evening to go along with 5D. Friesen will take the draw against Casey Myers. Myers has been out there, actually Casey Bailey. Casey Myers is a baseball player for the Salt Lake Bees 20 years ago. Former draft pick of the Arizona Diamondbacks in the first round. So Casey Bailey, not to be confused with Casey Myers, took the draw. Now the Grizzlies enter the offensive zone as Reed Lebster collides with the Knight Monster and taking it away as Casey, don't call me Myers, as the puck will bounce into the Grizzlies zone towards the right corner. As Swick will slide one up top as Kapchek moves it towards his left. They try to center it to Bailey, and the puck hippity hops over his stick. Now back to the left wing. They get it towards Bailey, who couldn't reach it. Puck off the boards for Salem. As he'll get it ahead, Utah will get it towards Gratton, who crosses center ice. As Gratton will dump it in, the Grizzlies make a line change as Connors is out there with Barbashev. And it looks like Colby Enns is acting as, well, it looked like he came in there, but he was acting as a defenseman as he came on with 2 forwards. Neil Shea will get it back towards Connors, who crosses center ice. Now Connors dumps it in, and he spins around Callan. Callan cuts off Connors. If we wanted to call it tightly, they'd probably call interference, but we play on. Tahoe crosses center ice. Adam Pitters overskates the puck. Now he'll slide one across. Knight Monsters are on side as they try to get it towards Derflinger. It's taken away by Connors. Now back behind the net, a broken stick gets in the way of the puck. The stick was laying behind Wells' net and almost played an effect and played a role in Connors not being able to move the puck out towards New Trice. Now the Grizzlies get it with Barbashev. He'll drag it out to center ice, and he'll dump it in. He dumps from it looked like Grizzlies territory, but no icing as Barbashev gets around to Knight Monster. Puck goes up top. Gansky, he fires a righty shot, save, rebound. Genev was looking for it. He couldn't reach it. Tahoe, rink-wide feed, goes towards Kapchek. Kapchek drops it off 1-on-2 as Stucker takes it away. Actually, it was Derflinger on the receiving end as Grizzlies will ice the puck, and the arm is enthusiastically raised by one of the linesmen. I'll take the referee also raising his right arm. Icing is on Utah with 10:28 left in the first. Grizzlies are up to 11 shots. Tahoe's taken 3. Thanks for being with us here tonight. Grizzlies and the Knight Monsters meeting in the second of a 3-game series. Looks like a pretty good Saturday night crowd over at Tahoe Blue Event Center. That building holds just about 4,300, so it's not a big building. In fact, it's one of the smallest buildings in the league. It looks like they're packing them in tonight. Ricketts take the draw against Mike O'Leary. And the draw won by Tahoe. They're in the offensive zone, skating from left to right. And now the Knight Monsters lose as Ricketts gets out towards Genev. Danny Genev is lightning on skate, steps over the offense line, stops before he gets to the corner, drops it for Stucker, who's been a strong addition for the Grizzlies. Genev back towards Stucker, faked the one-timer. He'll lay it for Ricketts on the right side. Ricketts can't get around a Knight Monster. Took good away. Tahoe crosses center ice, left wing, and they'll plop one in. As Salem gets the puck over in the corner as he gets a basketball screen from Stucker. Salem gets held up along the boards. Luke Adam trying to fire towards the net, and it's kicked away by Ricketts. And the puck will wobble deep into the Knight Monsters zone. No icing on the play, so the Grizzlies will hit the reset button and get 5 fresh skaters on the ice. Rink-wide feed, angle left, is picked off. Now the Grizzlies skate in 3-on-3. Utah's Reed Lebster from the slot fires a righty shot that misses wide. Lebster gets it back in the left wing. He'll get it across. Stucker over to Grattan. Grattan backhand shot. Saved by Paperny. Rebound goes around Tahoe's net as Grattan one hands it up top, but nobody was at the near point. As Hanson Bucado will retreat, and he'll get the loose puck deep in the Grizzlies zone. Cross-country pass connects towards Lebster, who steps over to the right point, fires a righty shot. Glove saved by Paperny, who caught it backhand style in the butterfly position with 9:18 left in the first. Tahoe leads Utah 1-0. We're back in 60 seconds. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Grisby commutes to work by riding UTA. It gives him time to make friends and relax before arriving to the Maverick Center. But how can Grisby keep enjoying that feeling throughout the entire day? An idea! Utah Transit Authority, proud sponsors of the Utah Grizzlies.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to AmericaFirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
We're halfway through the first period. Tahoe leads Utah 1-0. There's 9:18 left. Grizzlies have outshot the Knight Monsters 14-3. So Grizzlies firing away early and often here so far, but it's Tahoe that leads 1-0 as Jake McGrew redirected. An Nate Callan shot, 3:07 in. Among the 14 shots, Tyler Grant, the Grizzlies captain, has 5. Grizzlies are rolling with 15 skaters as Timofeyev is officially a scratch, as Utah has 10 forwards and 5 defensemen. Puck goes back towards the near side as Nate Callan will wing it towards the far side. Now the Knight Monsters get to center ice, and dumping it in is number 3, C.J. Valerian, the longtime Roanoke Rail Yard dog of the SPHL. Played in 5 different seasons with that club. Right wing lefty shot by Wells, and that one's blocked away by Dylan Wells, no relation to Blake. Blake Wells still looking for his first pro goal, as he thought he had gotten it yesterday, but they counted it for merit. Now down the middle of the ice, Grattan fires away and misses wide. As I mentioned, Grattan already with 5 shots on goal. As Callan over the offense line tries to split a double team, does so, shoots and scores. Nate Callan somehow got between 2 Grizzlies and was able to fire away past Dylan Wells. And with 8:36 left in the first, Knight Monsters lead 2-0. Like Callan just skating down the middle of the ice and somehow was able to thread himself between Hanson Bucata and Salem. He literally just split the double team and then regained control of the puck and just fired it past Wells. So even though the Grizzlies have a 14-5 edge in the shot count, it's 2-0 Knight Monsters out towards center ice as it bounces off of Shea's stick. Now the puck back towards the Utah line. It goes deep into the Grizzlies zone. Wells cuts it up behind his net. He'll drop it for Hanson Bucata, who skates towards the far side and they'll spin it towards Connors, and Connors will tap it out to center ice, goes to Neil Shea, who steps over the offensive line, drops for Barbashev. He's in the right wing. Barbashev trying to move it across to Connors. It's picked off by Tahoe. Knight Monsters, one of the more experienced teams you'll see in this league, as Tahoe steps over the offensive line, but they're offside as play stops with 8:02 left in the first. Quite a bit of action across the league, and obviously with the Grizzlies game rolling a little bit later, a lot of games are already in progress or are already finals. We'll go over those during the first intermission. Other Mountain Division games, Idaho leads Greensboro 5-0. That game with 4 minutes left in the second period. A late second period, Rapid City leads Indy 2-1. The draw is going to be at neutral ice after the Knight Monsters were called for offside. Ricketts will take the draw, and it's won by Tahoe. No sky out of play off the protective netting as the Knight Monster and Grizzly were going after a loose puck along the near wing boards. That was Derflinger. And Genev going after the loose puck, and so they get a new puck from the scores table. Ricketts taking the draw, first-year pro. Grizzlies have had some pretty impressive rookies. In fact, if you're looking at league leaders among rookies, Ricketts missed a handful of games about a month ago. Otherwise, he'd be right up there in the top 10 in a few categories. He already is in the top 5 in the league in minor penalties among rookies. As Gansky gets double team behind Utah's net, Enns joins the play, and so does Ricketts, who gives some lumber towards Derflinger. Ricketts comes away with the puck. Jack Ricketts, the first-year pro, gets it towards Genev. As Genev back towards Ricketts in the right wing, he tries to locate the puck, now goes towards the right point. Genev in the corner gets it. Danny Genev trying to get it towards Ricketts, and it's picked off by the Knight Monsters. And that's Kalen Taylor, the former Clarkson University captain. He's a first-year pro. As the Knight Monsters towards the right wing, Derflinger dumps to the corner as a Grizzly goes sliding towards the corner, and that was Jack Ricketts, who looks around wanting a call. Looks like the referee is going to let them play tonight. Referee is Emil Sharon. Out towards center ice, it goes back to the Tahoe line. Knight Monsters come up with it as Tahoe races across center ice. Down the middle is Nate Callan. He'll move it towards his left. Now centering feed. Lefty shot saved by Wells. Rebound shot in the second attempt goes wide. As it's 2-0 Tahoe, 7 minutes left in the first period. As camera operator falls asleep for a minute, Tahoe dumps it back into the Grizzlies zone. As Grattan will move it back towards center ice. Now the Grizzlies enter. Sean Kennedy feeds one across, and it looked like it glanced off a stick. Maybe it was Paperny's stick. As the Knight Monsters out to center ice, but the Grizzlies trying to pivot the puck away from Tahoe as Salem gets pushed to the ice. Gansky, rink-wide feed, angle right, goes tape-to-tape towards Kennedy. As Kennedy will backhand it. It looked like it went off a Tahoe stick. Now left wing, as Lepster had the puck stay in the corner as he's battling with big Samuel Mayer. He goes 6'3", 203 pounds. Now Lepster spins around a Knight Monster, and that's O'Leary. Grattan in the area, trying to get towards Hanson Mukata. And Tahoe will tap it off the near boards. And Tahoe will make a full line change. Now the Grizzlies re-enter the zone as Lepster in the right wing. And so backwind across. It goes behind Tahoe's net. They were looking for Connors. Now the Knight Monsters, who skate from left to right here in the first period, will slide one ahead, but kind of fanned on the pass. Now Blake Wells gets held up by Hanson Mukata. Mukata, a RIT and Ohio State product. Hanson Mukata delivers some lumber towards the left side of Blake Wells. As Neil Shea gets the puck, he'll race towards center ice. Shea crosses center, and he'll bounce to the right corner deep in the Tahoe zone. As Barbashev gets a good shoulder check on a Knight Monster, you can expect a physical game from Barbashev. He's been a strong performer over the last 3 weeks, and he's played a great two-way game. Barbashev shields Tahoe from the puck. He'll get it up top towards Salem, and a stick breaks, and one end of the stick goes flying towards the stands. Boy, Salem's equipment let him down as the Knight Monsters back towards center ice, and they'll cycle it around the boards. It looks like a lot of people are falling down in the first period. Ice surface must be a little bit rough. Genev over the offensive line, dangles towards the left circle. Now Genev around the net. He's now to the right side. Danny Genev gets it across towards Gansky. Left wing shot by Paperny. Everybody hacking away. Gansky and Ricketts. And Paperny somehow has got it covered up. And after the whistle, Anthony Collins trying to give the business towards Jack Ricketts. Now Collins pushes. Well, Collins, a 13th-year pro. That's the type of game he plays. Collins loves that stuff after the whistle, especially in front of the net. Tahoe still leads 2-0. Grizzlies will have an offensive zone draw when we come back. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
Thanks for hanging out with us tonight as Tahoe leads 2-0 late in the first period. Two other Mountain Division scores. Kansas City earlier today defeated Tulsa 5-1. Glenn had 2 goals, and 3 other Mavericks found the back of the net. In a shootout, Allen defeats Wichita 5-4. That was a close one. Remember, Allen won 4-0 last night, and the Americans get another victory against Wichita, this time in a shootout, 5-4. Face-off's going to be an offensive zone 1 for Utah in the left circle. As Jack Ricketts will take the draw, crouches down with Casey Bailey. Draw one by Utah is Noah Gansky. Left wing, he'll zip it around the boards. It gets cut off in the left corner. Grizzlies escape from right to left here in the period. As Genev gets it left side, lefty shot. Glove saved by Paperny. Although it looked like it bounced off his glove and then flew out of play off the protective netting. Boy, Genev's had some good looks here in the first period, and he almost made it a 2-1 game. 4:46 is left in the first. Ricketts will take the draw. He's got Genev towards his right. As Grizzlies are rolling with 15 skaters, as Stepan Timofeyev was a late scratch. And earlier today, Sage Weinstein was recalled to the AHL's Colorado Eagles. So the Grizzlies, they'd already they were already a little bit shorthanded going into the road trip, and now they've lost 2 since the start of the trip. And unfortunately didn't gain any players, although they did sign somebody off waivers. Right wing shot and a score! Grizzlies get on the board as the puck ended up towards the right wing. Utah fired it past Paperny, and it's now a 2-1 game. Couldn't quite see who it was that scored the goal. Might have been, we're not really sure, unfortunately. Didn't get a good look at it, but it's now a 2-1 game with 4:39 left in the first. So Utah gets a little bit of momentum. It took for the 17th shot for Utah to finally get one on the board. So good job by the Grizzlies. All that offensive zone time paid off with a goal. We'll see we can see on the ECHL box score who got credited with it. Unfortunately, I couldn't quite tell. It was a righty shooter. I do know that. It could have been Lebster. Could have been one of the defensemen. Stucker and Enns are right shot defensemen who are very similar sized as Tahoe. Gets back towards the middle of the ice. Now the Grizzlies will cross center as Lebster will get it towards Kennedy in the left wing. Kennedy lefty shot kick save off the right pad of Paperny as puck slides towards the right wing. Gansky gets the puck. He's also a right shot defenseman. Could have been him. They got the goal. We'll see a little bit later as Lebster gets towards the right side. Righty shot. And that one is caught by Paperny. A lot of traffic out in front of the net, including Evan Friesen. But Paperny holds on with 3:56 left in the first. So it's a 2-1 game. We'll see if we can figure out who the goal scorer was for Utah. Well, we'll let you know when the app updates itself. We do know it was a right shot, a right shooting player from the right wing. As Connors take the draw, Connors a right shot forward. Could have been him that scored the goal. As the puck goes between the two defensemen up top all the way towards Dylan Wells. As Salem's out there with Gansky. Utah has 18 shots to Tahoe 6. Salem gets it past Barbashev. It goes back towards Tahoe ice. As Kapchek, the former Newfoundland Growler, moves out towards center ice. Now Jake McGrew splits a double team but loses control of the puck as it rolls all the way towards Wells, who covers up in the crease with 3:35 left in the first. Unfortunately, still the ECHL app, I'm waiting to figure out who scored Utah's goal, and it still hasn't updated itself. So we'll let you know once they they get that cleared up as to who scored the goal for Utah. Unfortunately, we didn't get a good look at it live, and they never did show a replay or anything that would indicate who scored the goal. Connors will take the draw in the near circle. As action in the Grizzlies zone, Mike O'Leary crouches down. As I mentioned, Tahoe is one of the more experienced teams in the league. Night Monsters win the draw. They skate on towards Wells, and a Night Monster crashes Dylan Wells. Penalty is going to be called as Dylan Wells still laying down, and the Night Monster still laying on Wells. As Jake McGrew is slow to get to his feet, and Wells gets back to his feet as well. And Jake McGrew just kind of skated towards the net and crashed over Wells. Interference is going to be the call, and I believe it's going to be Jake McGrew going to the box. So Utah is going to get a power play here late in the first period. 3:28 in, or 3:28 left, as Jake McGrew just skated towards the net, lost his balance, and ran into the Utah goaltender. So McGrew, he says that is bleeping. I can't repeat what McGrew said, but he didn't agree with it. So it's going to be a power play for the Grizzlies with 3:28 left in the first. ECHL app is continually not updating itself. It's almost like the Tahoe off-ice officials don't want to acknowledge that Utah scored a goal. We'll figure that out a little bit later on. We do know it was somebody who shoots with the right. As Utah will have Lebster out there with Jack Ricketts, Tyler Gratton, Neil Shea, and Hanson Bukata. That's the party of five for Utah on this power play. Watch out for Hanson Bukata. He's got 8 power play assists this season, including one last night. Grizzlies were 1 for 3 on the power play last night. Tahoe wins the draw. Samuel Mayer will backhand it up, and it goes past Hanson Bukata towards center ice. Now it slides into the Grizzlies zone. Hanson Bukata will hustle after it. He collects the puck, and he stops behind Wells' net. 3:10 left in a moving clock first period as Tahoe leads 2-1. Hanson Bukata will move it towards the right side. Lebster over the offensive line, and he'll roll it along the roulette wheel. Now Shea reverses it back towards the right side, but it's cut off behind Paperny's net. Paperny looks over his left shoulder. Shea joins the play, a 3-on-3 scrum, as Ricketts gets booted in the back. As holding his ground is Casey Bailey, so's Lebster. Now the puck slides towards the right corner. Grizzlies get it up top. Gratton fumbles the puck, but's able to keep it in. Over towards Hanson Bukata. Now to Shea. Shea was looking to locate the puck and just couldn't corral it. He looks up to the heavens. Now a 3-on-2 scrum, a 3 Grizzlies over in the left corner. As we're halfway through Utah's power play, Grizzlies skate around the net. Now back towards the right point. Hanson Bukata moves it towards the right side. As now down to Ricketts. His shot's blocked by Paperny. Now Shea over in the left goal line. He'll tap it off the wall for Hanson Bukata, who moves it to the right wing for Lebster. Lebster right wing, righty shot, and then goes wide as he missed the net stick side on Paperny, and the puck will go back towards Utah ice. We do now have the details of the Utah goal. It was Colby Enns scoring. Right now they've listed as unassisted. Enns gets Utah on the board. He now has 4 goals on the season. Danny Genev has the puck. There's less than 20 seconds left in the power play. As the Grizzlies get towards center ice, Tahoe takes it away. Remember, Tahoe does have 7 shorthanded goals this year. Genev, like a bolt of lightning, swings and misses from the left wing. Now the Grizzlies are able to keep it in. Dancing around Freese, and he tried to center it towards Gillette. It's picked off, and the Night Monsters will pitchfork it airborne all the way deep towards Dylan Wells. McGrew's out of the box. It's a 2-1 Tahoe lead. Colby Enns, we believe, scored Utah's goal 15-20 in as there's less than a minute and a half left in the period. Connors gets it in deep as Paperny cuts it off behind his net. And now the puck goes back to neutral ice. Salem will backhand it towards his right for Genev, who falls down as he was in the same area as Lyndon Algier. Algier has 4 assists in 19 games. He's a 6'3 defenseman. As Night Monsters back towards McGrew. 2 Night Monsters and a Grizzly collide. Now Genev gets the puck, and he'll get it ahead. Down the middle of the ice, Jack Ricketts shields Tahoe from the puck, tries to go 5-hole, and Paperny closed the door and stops play with 7.1 seconds left. Well, a good pass down the middle of the ice for Ricketts. Ricketts trying to split the double team as Nate Callan did for Tahoe earlier in the period. Trying to go low on Paperny, but the Tahoe goaltender closed the door. So Grizzlies will have an offensive zone draw. Shot count's pretty wild in this period. Utah has 19 shots. Now make it 20 shots to Tahoe's 6. So faceoff's going to be over in the left circle. We'll go over all the scoring during the first intermission. It's a very busy night of sports. We'll go over all that action as well. Sean Kennedy will take the draw. I'm really looking forward to seeing him on the Maverick Center ice next week. Looks like he's a promising forward. Draw won by Tahoe. Remember, the Grizzlies are 6 days away from their next home game, and it's going to start a 3-game set against the Kansas City Mavericks. Tahoe will sky it into the Grizzlies zone. It looks like it flies out of play off the protective netting. 38.5 seconds left in the first. Don't forget, this is just the second of a 3-game series. Both teams will be at Tahoe Blue Event Center at 4 o'clock. That's 4 o'clock Mountain Time. As Robbie Stucker talking with one of the linesmen. That is Austin Bove, B-O-V-E. Could be Bove. Not a very tall linesman. As he stands at the face-off circle, Riley Connors will take the draw against Adam Pitters. Second of 9 meetings between these clubs. 6 in total in Tahoe and 3 at Maverick Center. 3 at Maverick Center in late February. Grizzlies won the draw. They'll zip it all the way around the boards. No icing. Paperny with number 34 on the back of his sweater. Puck goes back towards center ice. It's taken by Hanson Mukadu. Got slashed. No call. Pitters. 22 seconds left wing. Trying to center it out in front. Looking for Moffitt. And the puck goes wide of the mark. Now towards center ice. Dangling back and forth as Lebster will drop it towards Connors. Connors rink-wide feeds picked off by Derflinger. Now Connors gets it back. He'll bounce one across. It's taken by Wells wearing number 12. 3 seconds left in the period. Wells, the former Grizzly, will stop behind Paperny's net. Now we'll do it for 20 minutes over at Tahoe Blue Event Center. As the Knight Monsters got first period goals from Jake McGrew and Nate Callan. Colby Enns responded with a late first period goal that was scored 15-20 in. Grizzlies outshot the Knight Monsters 20-6 in the first period. There was one power play, and it went to the Grizzlies after Jake McGrew got an interference minor. Grizzlies didn't do much on that power play situation. Utah's a little bit shorthanded, rolling with 15 skaters tonight, and they trail 2-1 against the Tahoe Knight Monsters. As both teams will head to the locker room, John Buchanan and Ryan Anderson walking across the ice as they're talking about how to generate a little bit more for the Grizzlies in this second frame. So both teams head to the locker room, and we'll head to break. We'll come back and recap the first 20 minutes statistically and also go over some scores from around the league. After one period, the Utah Grizzlies trail the Tahoe Knight Monsters 2-1. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Tonight's game is brought to you by the ECHL, celebrating its 38th season of affordable family entertainment. The ECHL would like to thank everyone in attendance for your support of ECHL hockey. The ECHL would also like to recognize the following league sponsors: AMI Graphics, exclusive signage provider; AthleticNet, official jersey supplier; Baron Rings, official championship ring supplier; BFL Canada Insurance and Sutton Special Risk, sponsors of the 2026 ECHL Hall of Fame induction ceremony; Dash, official mobile auction platform; The Fairley Group, official commercial insurance provider; Flow Sports, exclusive streaming provider; Hotel Planner, official hotel reservations partner; Howie's Hockey Tape, exclusive hockey tape and lace provider; In Glasgow, exclusive puck provider; Prolific One, exclusive secondary ticketing partner; and Warrior, exclusive on-ice equipment provider and title sponsor of the 2026 ECHL All-Star Classic. Catch all of the ECHL action live in high definition by logging on to flowhockey.tv.
After one period over at Tahoe Blue Event Center, Grizzlies trail the Knight Monsters 2-1. I'm Tyson Whiting, hanging out in the Professional Green Studios just outside the Grizzlies team store at Maverick Center. Second of a 3-game series. Earlier today, there was gymnastics in the Maverick Center building. A lot of great gymnastics action. 8 of the best teams in the country are performing at Maverick Center tonight. If you missed the news or if you joined us late earlier today, defenseman Sage Weinstein was recalled from the Grizzlies to the AHL's Colorado Eagles. Weinstein has an NHL contract with the Colorado Avalanche. And so Weinstein is back up in Colorado. And so the Grizzlies are rolling with 5 defensemen tonight. And it appears Stepan Timofeyev was unable to go. And so the Grizzlies are rolling with 15 skaters tonight, 10 forwards and 5 defensemen. Despite that, Grizzlies were able to get 20 shots on Jordan Paperny. They had many good looks. Paperny is a good goaltender. He was solid last year, and he's got a .916 save percentage this season. Tahoe got on the board first, 3:07 in. It looked like Hanson Buchanan was on the right wing, tried to move the puck out to neutralize, tried to clear the zone. Puck was cut off on the right side by Nate Callan. Callan fired towards the net. It was redirected by Jake McGrew in the right circle, and McGrew just kind of tapped it perfectly off his stick, past Dylan Wells to give the Knight Monsters a 1-0 lead. That was 3:07 in. Didn't see Luke Adam touch the puck as it went from, I believe, Hanson Buchanan up top to try to clear it. But somehow Luke Adam ended up with an assist, and that was 3:07 in the first period. Later on, Nate Callan was skating down the middle of the ice, got into the offensive zone, split a double team as he got between 2 Grizzly defensemen, kind of nudged the puck about 5 feet in front of him, regathered the puck, and fired it past Dylan Wells. Callan, right now it's listed as unassisted. He scored 11:25 in to give the Knight Monsters a 2-0 lead. Then the Grizzlies got on the board. Puck was behind Paperny's net. Then it kind of slid along the right wing boards. Colby Enns got it. Enns fired a righty shot past Paperny to get Utah on the board. Unfortunately, we couldn't quite tell who it was, and we didn't know who the goal scorer was for a good 3 or 4 minutes. We did know it was a righty shooter, and it was from the right wing. But, Colby Enns is pretty similar size to Robbie Stucker and a couple of the Grizzlies forwards who are right shot players, and so Enns scores, allegedly it's unassisted, 15-20 in, as Enns gets his 4th goal of the year, and he now has a point in 2 of his last 3 games. And Colby Enns has been a strong first-year pro. He has led the Grizzlies in plus-minus just about throughout the season. He was a +1 last night and a +7 on the year, and Enns is an even in the plus-minus category here tonight. So right now that's listed as unassisted. Colby Enns getting his 4th of the year, 15-20 in. There was one power play in the first period as Jake McGrew got an interference minor as he just crashed over Dylan Wells, 16-32 in. If the Grizzlies were rolling with 18 skaters, I imagine a Grizzly would have gone after McGrew. Unfortunately, with the Grizzlies being a shorthanded, they need everybody on the ice that they can get. Utah maybe had 1 or 2 shots on that power play, not a whole lot of opportunities as Tahoe did a good job clearing pucks. The Knight Monsters have an 82.3 penalty kill rate on the season. So that pretty much did it for 20 minutes. Tyler Gratton leads the Grizzlies with 5 shots. Noah Gansky and Jack Ricketts each with 3 shots. 2 shots each for John Gillette, Danny Genev, and then 1 shot each for Robbie Stucker. Colby Enns, who obviously scored on his 1 attempt, along with Riley Connors, Neil Shea, and Reed Webster. For the Knight Monsters, and there are 6 shots on goal. Nobody has more than 1, as obviously the goal scorers were McGrew and Callan. Dylan Wells stopped 4 of 6 in the first period. Jordan Paperny, the Tahoe goaltender, saved 19 of 20. It's a busy night in the league. Other Mountain Division games, a couple are in progress. After 2 periods, Idaho leads Greensboro 6-1. As Caleb Pearson has 2 goals for Idaho. Ty Pelton-Bice, Brendan Hoffman, Jade Miller, and Grant Silanoff have the other goals. Denny Gore has the Greensboro tally. After 2 periods, Rapid City leads Indy 3-2. Blake Bennett has 2 goals for the Rush. Interestingly enough, the Grizzlies have not played Rapid City yet this season, but they will in a couple weeks. Other Mountain Division action, 2 games have gone final. Kansas City defeats Tulsa 5-1, and in a shootout, Allen gets their 2nd straight win this weekend over Wichita. They won 4-0 last night, and Allen comes away with a 5-4 shootout victory. Danny Caddick got the shootout game winner. David Tendek, who had a 42 save shutout last night, saved 28 of 32. as Allen did it with the power play. They were 2 for 5 on the man advantage. Other action across the league, many games have gone final. Wheeling defeats Trois-Rivières 5-0. Fort Wayne gets a 3-2 victory over Toledo. That is a hotly contested Central Division battle, as Alex Aliardi scored the game winner, 16-42 in for the Fort Wayne Comets. Game that's gone final, South Carolina defeats Greenville 2-1. Former Tahoe Knight Monsters Simone Pinard scored the game winner, 6:32 into the third period. Savannah defeats Guy Carenza and Jared Youngman's Atlanta Gladiators 3-2. O'Brien and Morgan had the Atlanta goals. Carroll, Walsh, and Zabanik had the Savannah goals. Maine shuts out Reading 2-0. Jacksonville gets a 4-3 victory over Orlando, and that was in overtime. Brown scored the OT game winner. Also in overtime, Jeff Carr's Norfolk Admirals defeat Adirondack 4-3. Former Grizzly Daniel Amesbury is serving the first of a 3-game suspension tonight, as he pretty much just ran over the Norfolk goaltender in last night's game. You know the old saying, once a Grizzly, always a Grizzly, and I guess Daniel Amesbury was exactly once a Grizzly. He is now a member of the Adirondack Thunder. In overtime, Worcester defeats Florida 3-2. So Worcester with a 3-2 victory. Will Cranley was the backup goaltender tonight. Cranley stopped 13-14 in a victory over Worcester last night. Kalamazoo gets a 2-1 victory over Iowa. So that's scores from across the league. When we come back, we'll check in on a couple local college basketball scores as well as the NFL playoffs, and we'll also check in on the NHL games, or as a former Grizzly who had an outstanding individual performance for the Colorado Avalanche. That's on the other side, as after one period, Utah trails Tahoe 2-1. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West, or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
Let's go over some NHL scores. How about the Colorado Avalanche, Grizzlies NHL affiliate? They get a 4-0 victory over the Columbus Blue Jackets, and the number one star of the game is Trent Miner. The former Grizzlies shutout king gets a 29-save shutout, as it was his first NHL victory and his first NHL shutout. Trent Miner had 10 regular season shutouts with the Grizzlies over a 2-year stretch. He played in 3 total seasons with the Grizzlies, but he did have 7 shutouts in the 2021-22 season, had another 3 shutouts in the 2022-23 campaign. And remember, he did have 1 playoff shutout in 2023 against the Idaho Steelheads. So Trent Miner gets his first NHL victory. And with that, the Avalanche defeat the Columbus Blue Jackets 4-0. It kind of reminds me, if you think back to that 2022-23 season, Grizzlies played well to get to the postseason. Remember, they just kind of squeaked into the playoffs. They struggled a little bit in the first half of the campaign. They played the Idaho Steelheads, who broke just about every league regular season record that year. And so everybody was expecting Idaho to be a huge favorite. However, everybody in the locker room, all the coaches, even Grizzlies fans, they truly believed that the Grizzlies were going to win that series. And the big part, and maybe the only reason why we thought the Grizzlies had a good chance in that series, was because we had Trent Miner, who was an NHL-level goaltender. Of course, the Grizzlies won both of the first 2 games on the road. One of those was a Trent Miner shutout. And then we came back home to Maverick Center for 3 straight games, and Idaho won in OT all 3 games, including the controversial Idaho high stick goal in Game 5 to give the Steelheads a 3-2 series lead. And then Idaho won in Game 6 in overtime. So the Grizzlies lost 4 straight overtime games in 2023. They didn't lose in regulation, but somehow got eliminated from the playoffs. But the Grizzlies were in it throughout that entire series. And a big part of that is the fact the Grizzlies had Trent Miner. Other NHL action currently going on. After one period, Kings and the Oilers are tied at 1. Corey Perry has the Kings goal. Leon Draisaitl has scored for Edmonton. Also after one period, Blues and the Golden Knights are tied at 1. Mitch Marner has the Vegas goal. Robert Thomas has the St. Louis tally. Earlier today on national TV, in a game that is a felony in 43 states, Boston defeats the New York Rangers 10-2. First time since, I believe, 2009 that the Rangers have allowed 10 goals in a game. And Boston, they got contributions from just about everybody. Bruins over the Rangers 10-2. Flames get a 2-1 victory over the Pittsburgh Penguins. In overtime, the Sharks defeat the Stars 5-4 as Tyler Toffoli scored the overtime power play game winner, 1:58 in. Sabres over the Ducks 5-3. How about the Sabres? They're playing pretty good hockey. Josh Norris with a third period goal. As the Ducks looked like a lot of their key players found the back of the net in the loss. But Tage Thompson, Jack Quinn, Byron Boehm. Quinn actually had 2 goals for Buffalo. And the Sabres get a 5-3 victory at home over the Ducks. Maple Leafs shut out the Canucks 5-0 as Joseph Wall was a brick wall, stopping all 29 Vancouver shots. Maple Leafs scored 3 goals in the first and cruised on to a 5-0 victory. Panthers defeat the Senators 3-2 as Ottawa continues to sputter, as they have now lost at least 3 in a row. Lightning get 2 assists from former Grizzlies Charles-Edouard Dastu. Tampa Bay 7, Philadelphia 2. Hurricanes over the Kraken 3-2. The game winner was scored by William Carrier, 13:50 into the third. Red Wings get a 4-0 victory over Montreal. It was a shutout from John Gibson, who stopped all 27 Montreal shots. Alex DeBrincat had 1 goal and 2 assists. Blackhawks get a shutout, 3-0 victory over the Predators, as Drew Camaso had a 36-save shutout. It was his first NHL win. Chicago over Nashville, 3-0. In overtime, the Islanders defeat the Wild 4-3. Holmstrom scored the OT game winner, 134 in. So that's the NHL scores. When we come back, we'll check on the NFL playoffs as well as a couple college basketball scores. Utah trails Tahoe 2-1. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, and partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
NFL Wild Card Weekend is upon us. In the NFC Wild Card, the Rams defeat the Panthers 34-31 in an exciting game. Panthers were 8-9 in the regular season, but they put together a pretty good showing. So the Rams advance to the divisional round. It's uncertain yet who they'll face. And with 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, the Packers lead the Bears 27-16. Well, that'd be a tough one for Chicago to go out in the wild card round after finishing up 11-6 and ending up as a 2 seed in the NFC. But right now, the Packers lead 27-16 late in the fourth quarter. Chicago's going to need a miracle. They do have the ball first and goal at the Green Bay 8-yard line. In college basketball action at halftime over at Huntsman Center, BYU leads Utah 45-43. BYU is 9th ranked in the country with a record of 14-1. The Utes are 8-7 on the year, and they're led by first-year head coach Alex Jensen. Late second half, Utah State is blowing out Boise State 88-61. As Utah State's record is going to go to 14-1 on the season, Boise State will fall to 9-7. When we come back in 1 minute, we'll have second period action on the other side. You've been tuned in to the Intermission Report on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network. are about set for second period action. As the Grizzlies had 20 shots in the first period, Colby Enns found the back of the net, 15-20 in. Utah will start the second period with a forward line of John Gillette, Jack Ricketts, and maybe at some point we'll figure out who the third forward is on the ice. Could be Danny Genev, who's been lined up with those two for most of the first period, and it will be Danny Genev as the other forward. 20 minutes are put on the scoreboard clock, and we'll see if the Grizzlies play as well in the second period tonight as they did for most of the second period last night. Remember, Tahoe had a 2-0 lead last night going into the second period before Genev and Gillette found the back of the net. Jack Ricketts will take the draw. He's got John Gillette to his right and Danny Genev to his left. All three of them are first-year pros. Hanson Bukata and Colby Enns also first-year pros, so 5 rookies on the ice for the Grizzlies to start the second period. Puck is dropped and we're underway. Tahoe skating from right to left, gets to the Utah line, tried to dump it in. They ricocheted off a Grizzly out of play. As a fan's going to come away with a frozen vulcanized rubber disc. As they're looking for the person with the puck over in about row 6. It looks like everybody's okay. It looks like a pretty good Saturday night crowd over at Tahoe Blue Event Center. I'm hanging out in the professional green studios here at Maverick Center. As Mike O'Leary will take the draw against Jack Ricketts. We're all having a good time on this Saturday night. Ricketts stares down O'Leary. As linesman Will Anderson drops the puck. Tahoe wins the faceoff, right point. As they get up just outside the right circle, as Luke Adam will spin it around the boards. And now it goes towards the left wing. And it bounces back behind Wells' net. Ricketts gets the puck. He'll race out towards neutral ice. He strides along the far wing. Now steps over the offensive line, trying to skate towards John Gillette on the right side. It's poked back to the left wing. Hanson Bukata, lefty shot that goes wide. John Gillette over in the left corner as he gets pushed by O'Leary. As Gillette overskates the puck, now O'Leary will skate towards the middle of the ice horizontally. He loses control as Jack Ricketts will skate back towards the corner. O'Leary gives Ricketts some lumber in the back. Now Ricketts slashes O'Leary. Coming up with the puck is Danny Genev, right side, lefty shot. A save by Paperny in the butterfly position. He holds on 49 seconds into the second period. So Grizzlies with a couple good looks there in the first minute of the second period. It's game 32 of 72 for the Grizzlies this season. There are 4 different Grizzlies players who've appeared in every game this year. We'll give you some time to think about it. That's Grizzlies trivia here in the second period. Who are the 4 Grizzlies who have appeared in every game this season? Obviously, all 4 in the lineup tonight. Evan Friesen will take the draw. As it goes towards the corner, Tyler Gratton battles, but Tahoe gets the puck, and they'll race out towards center ice right wing. As they'll tap it in with the lefty stick, as well as behind his net. Gets it back towards the corner, battling his number 76, Trent Zwick, a big 6'6" forward who's got a point in 7 straight games. Grizzlies clear it all the way out, and icing is on Utah with 18:48 left in the second. Grizzlies been a pretty good road team. Oddly enough, it's already the 21st road game for the Grizzlies this season. It's only game 32. The Grizzlies have only had 11 home games so far this year, so obviously that means the Grizzlies are going to have a ton of home games in the second half of the season. Casey Bailey, we called him former minor league baseball player Casey Myers earlier on. Myers was kind of a stiff, a strikeout-prone catcher, could also play first base. Tahoe wins the draw right side. That shot's blocked. He was a top 5 draft pick by the Arizona Diamondbacks back in like 1999. Played with the Bees for a year. As a Grizzly gets hit up high, as taking the puck is Trent Zwick. He'll skate down Broadway. Now he chips it towards his left as the Knight Monsters step over the offensive line. As Poliani chases after a Grizzly. Poliani delivers a good shoulder check on Luke Salem, who moved it head to neutral ice. As Evan Friesen will skate towards the right wing. Now Friesen stops, feeds it up top, just outside the right circle. Lebster fires away, and it's blocked by Bailey. Now left wing, lefty shot goes wide as Hanson Bukata tried to roof it over Paperny. Now back behind Tahoe's net. Friesen shields Tahoe from the puck. Now Friesen feeds a siren pass. Lefty shot by Barbashev misses wide. Now the puck goes back up top. Stucker right wing, gets it across. Hanson Bukata, lefty shot that goes wide as Paperny slid towards his right to try to get after the puck. Now the Grizzlies back towards the right wing. Connors near the boards. He fires a righty shot looking for a redirection. It goes wide. Hanson Bukata, left wing, feeds it behind Tahoe's net. Kennedy moves it back to the middle of the ice and looking for a shot, but he didn't have much of a shooting angle. Was Connors. Now Kennedy out to the right side. Barbashev, lefty shot. And that one deflects off of Paperny and goes wide. Boy, the Grizzlies, it's a shooting gallery. One shot after another. that just couldn't find the back of the net on Jordan Paperny. Utah will have an offensive zone draw with 17:29 left in the second. All right, I've given you some time to think about it. The 4 Grizzlies players who have appeared in every game this season includes Danny Genev, along with Evan Friesen, John Gillette, and Reed Lepster. 3 first-year pros, and Lepster obviously in his second full season as a pro. Those are the 4 Grizzlies players who have appeared in every game this season. Unfortunately, Christian Felton unable to go this weekend as he had played in each of the first 30 games this year. Off the draw, linesman says we'll do it over again. Faceoffs in the right dot. As Jack Ricketts kicked out of the circle, John Gillette, the first-year pro, at a holy cross, will take the draw. He's got Danny Genev to his left and Ricketts to his right. Grizzlies have taken each of the first 4 shots of this second period. Utah wins the draw, but it goes back to neutral ice as Salem was skating towards the opposite side of where the puck was going. As towards the right side, big-time hit as Gillette gets hit about shoulder high by a Knight Monster near Utah's bench. As now Gillette back to his feet. He gets bounced again off the boards by a Knight Monster, and that's Lyndon Algier, the big 6'3" defenseman. Tahoe, one of the bigger and more experienced teams in the league. Down the middle of the ice, Algier gets cut off by Gansky. Algier will fire it off the far wing, the end boards, as he spins himself around. Couldn't get the puck back. As Salem back deep in the Grizzly zone gets held up in the corner. As Ricketts joins the play, as Merritt tried to tap it away. Connor Merritt scored a goal last night, a goal that was originally thought to have gone towards Blake Wells. Grizzlies cross center ice. Genev tried to move it across towards his right. The pass is picked off by the Knight Monsters. Now Tahoe crosses center ice. They get around Salem as they skate over the offense line. They'll dump it off the Utah backboards. As Hanson Mukata gets lumbered in the back by Adam Pitters. Puck goes back toward Utah. Danny Genev, the first-year pro, Brooklyn native. Horizontal pass off the boards for Lepster near the Tahoe bench. Lepster right wing crosses into the offensive zone. Gets it back toward Genev. Left wing. Lefty shot, and that's blocked away by a Knight Monster who was hanging out in the left circle. Colby Enns fires a righty shot that misses wide as Paperny slid towards his left. Now Tahoe ices the puck, and the arm is raised by all 3 officials. 16:03 is left in the second, and the Grizzlies will have another offensive zone draw. Second of a 3-game baseball-style weekend series. Both teams will continue and conclude their series tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock. Don't forget the Grizzlies will be home next week for a baseball-style 3-game series of their own against Tahoe Knight Kansas City Mavericks. Next home game for the Grizzlies is 6 days from now, Friday, January 16th. Get your tickets to UtahGrizzlies.com. Don't forget that Youth Sports Night is going to be on Saturday, January 17th, and Sensory Friendly Day will be on Sunday, January 18th. Puck slides deep into the Grizzlies zone as Hanson Mukata gets it. He shields Tahoe from the puck. Rink wide feed, angle right goes towards Friesen. Friesen dances around Samuel Mayer, who just recently got sent back to Tahoe from the AHL's Henderson Silver Knights. Mayer holds up Friesen along the boards. Grizzlies try to get it to Lepster in the right circle. It's picked off by Tahoe. Anthony Collins moves it out towards center ice. And now the Knight Monsters dump it in. Puck towards the right side as they sidestep a Lepster check. Now Lepster gets the puck and he'll bounce one up but not out. Mayer high slot, lefty shot, and that gets ricocheted about 10 feet in front of Wells, and the Grizzlies clear it out. It looks like it's going to be icing on Utah as the linesman strides and enthusiastically raises his right arm. His icing is on Utah with 15:15 left in the second. So Grizzlies are doing a good job controlling the shot count and controlling the puck, but they still trail 2-1. And really, that's been a game plan for success for the Knight Monsters this year. Tahoe's kind of in the middle of the pack in terms of shots per game. They'll let you take, it seems like, about as many shots as you want. But it seems like for whatever reason, Tahoe's got a pretty good tandem of goaltenders, and they've got a good defensive units where even though they allow a lot of grade A chances per game, Grizzlies ice the puck once again as there's 15:08 left in the second, and we'll go back towards Dylan Wells for the next faceoff. Tahoe just somehow has that formula for success, and it doesn't. With that, they've got a team save percentage of .917 coming into play tonight. So they've been getting good goaltending, not only this season, but last year as well, where they had a pretty successful season. Draw one by Tahoe as Mayer gets the puck left goal line. Lefty shot saved by Wells in the butterfly position. As Mayer, He's over in the left corner, gets it back to O'Leary. Now behind Utah's net. Puck slides towards Luke Salem. Salem will spin it out towards the left side as the Grizzlies tried to move it out towards Friesen. It's picked up as Friesen tried to accept it at the Tahoe blue line. As now Luke Adam throws a centering pass. Tahoe skates in, backhand shot, saved by Wells. Tahoe gets the rebound. They get it back up top. Now it's the left wing. Lefty shot and a score as Luke Adam redirected a Tahoe shot. And after the goal, Adam got tripped up by Riley Connors. And it's now a 3-1 game. Shot was taken from up top near the blue line. And Luke Adam appeared to get a piece of it for his 8th goal of the year. McGrew got it to the high slot, then back towards the left side. And looked like Adam was just there for the rebound. Right place at the right time. He scored 14:34 left in the second. After the goal, Riley Connors tripped him up. So face-offs at center ice. Connors out there with Barbashev and Shea. So the Night Monsters 3 goals on 10 shots. And the Grizzlies, with 24 shots and a lot of scoring opportunities, just have 1. Utah out towards Barbashev. As Barbashev plays catch now, he'll throw a horizontal pass to the left wing. Grizzlies over the offensive line as Shea skates towards the corner. Fires a sharp angled shot saved by Paperny. Rebounds cleared back towards Shea. Now left wing, lefty shots blocked. Night Monsters ice the puck. Stucker will stride after it. And the arm is raised by the linesman. 14:09 left in the second as icing is on Tahoe. So Draw's going to come back towards Jordan Paperny. Luke Adams scored 5:28 in with Nate Callan and Samuel Mayer getting the assist. So Nate Callan having a night. I think he's contributed to all 3 of Tahoe's goals this evening, as he scored the Night Monsters' 2nd goal. And Callan has 1 goal and 2 assists. He's a +2 tonight. So he was on the ice for the Colby-Enns goal, 15:20 into the first. Tahoe with a gentle push and a mild arc. The old biscuit will bounce deep into the Grizzlies zone. Noah Gansky gets the puck and he'll slide it towards Barbashev, who will wing it deep into the Tahoe zone. It got redirected, snow icing. Chasing after it is Tahoe's Brendan Dowler. Dowler, who just signed with Tahoe yesterday. 5th game overall in this league. Night Monsters dumping in from neutral ice. The Grizzlies get it towards Barbashev, who crosses center ice, dangling back and forth. Now he veers off to his left. Barbashev over the offense line. He gets it knifed away by the Night Monsters. Tahoe skates over the offensive line as they hold their ground. Now left wing, lefty shot misses wide as the puck goes back towards the right wing. Now over towards the wall. It's taking the puck is Brendan Kapchek, the former Newfoundland Growler. Skates down the middle, dangling back and forth. Now he skates all the way in towards Wells, and Gansky chips it away. Kapchek loses his helmet, and while his helmet was down, he threw a push at Gansky. If the referee wanted to be a little bit tight about it, could have given Kapchek a penalty for playing without a helmet, but he let it go as Kapchek skated towards the bench. As the Grizzlies dumping in from center ice, as Tahoe will sky it out to center ice, gloved and dropped by Stucker. Now taking it away is Merritt. Merritt had a goal last night. Connors his first name. He'll dump it in and get off the ice for a change. Stucker head towards Gillette, who crosses center ice. He gets it towards the right wing for Geneva, who tried to bounce one towards Gillette, pass behind him. As it goes off a Tahoe stick, Gillette gets it in the right corner, feeds up top. Geneva with the blue line at his feet. He'll skate to the left point, and he'll fire a lefty shot. Might have gotten redirected by Paperny as Ricketts was nearby. Now starting past Gillette, fires a changeup. Paperny makes the save with 12:20 left in the second. Gillette didn't get all of the shot as he got a nice centering pass from the left wing. 3-1 Tahoe. Nate Callan has 1 goal and 2 assists for the Night Monsters. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network. Night Monsters 3, Grizzlies 1, as we're about halfway through the scheduled 60-minute affair. Interestingly enough, Tahoe's outshot Utah 7-6 in this second period. Night Monsters scored the first 2 goals of the game. Jake McGrew, 3:07 into the first period. Nate Callan, 11:25 in. Grizzlies got on the board, 15:20 into the first, as Colbien's got his 4th of the year. It's right now listed as unassisted. Tahoe extended the lead to 3-1 as Luke Adam got a centering pass, maybe a rebound, and fired it past Dylan Wells. Callan and Mayer with the assists. Jordan Paperny saved 25 of 26. Utah's Dylan Wells has saved 10 of 13. Draw won by the Grizzlies, but it goes between Salem and Stuckers. The Grizzlies are going with 10 forwards and 5 defensemen tonight, as Sage Weinstein got recalled to Colorado and Stepan Timofeyev unable to go. And Christian Felton is out this weekend. Luke Manning's missing his 6th straight game. Christoph Filion and Avery Winslow are also out of the lineup. Rylan Kovacevic has been out since mid-November. Puck towards the far corner of the Tahoe zone. Grizzlies dancing around as a Grizzly gets dragged towards the ice. Paperny will clear the puck towards the near corner as Ricketts gets his stick back from behind the net. Puck goes back to the right wing as Ricketts dancing around looking for a centering pass. He's trying to get to Gillette, but the puck hippity-hopped over his stick. Left wing shot goes wide. Gillette gets the puck, tattoo it off the boards. Up top on the right point, Stucker lets it go. And Stucker will chase after the puck. Anthony Collins trying to jump around Stucker. Collins moves out to Wells on the right side. Wells looking for a centering pass. McGrew shot, save, rebound shot, and a score. And that's Anthony Collins getting his 2nd of the year. The 13th year pro extends Tahoe's lead to 4-1. Wells should get an assist as he had the puck towards the right side, centered it to McGrew. It looked like McGrew might have bounced it off of Wells, and Collins got the rebound and put it away. That's exactly what happened. Wells centered it to McGrew. McGrew kicked it off the right pad of Wells, and Collins got the rebound and fired it past Wells. So 4 goals on 13 shots for the Night Monsters. And the Grizzlies are going to have to play catch-up here in the second half of the contest. Don't really want to make excuses with the Grizzlies being as shorthanded, because the Grizzlies, quite frankly, have been shorthanded in terms of skaters for quite a few games this season. They've actually played well. Some of the games have been shorthanded, but the Night Monsters are having their way tonight. Grizzlies over the offensive line. Lepster back towards Hanson Bucata on the right side. Hanson Bucata gets checked in the side by Kevin O'Leary. O'Leary gets a basketball screen from a teammate. Now O'Leary will race out to neutralize. He skates down the middle of the ice, crosses center, and he'll zip it around the boards. Wells cuts it off behind his net. Now Wells will roll the puck back towards the right point. Tahoe keeps it in. Now it kicks off a Grizzly. And now the camera operator is all sorts of out of control. He has no clue where the puck is. And we apologize in this remote feed. It's kind of like trying to put together a puzzle and you don't have half the pieces. Tahoe dumps it in from neutral ice. Hanson Bucata gets the puck over in the right corner. Now he'll get it ahead to Gratton. Gratton will bounce one towards Lepster. Lepster gets it off a Tahoe stick, and he'll skate towards the left goal line. Lepster shields Tahoe from the puck towards the right corner. Now Lepster feeds it up top. Ends, moves it across. Salem left wing, lefty shot. And that one gets redirected, and it goes out of play off the protective netting. That stops play with 10:16 left in the second. So it's going to be an offensive zone draw for the Grizzlies. As they show some fans hanging out. It looks like they're having a good time over in Tahoe. Very few empty seats over at Tahoe Blue Event Center. Place that holds about 4,300, but looks like they've got a good crowd. It's Military Appreciation Weekend over in Tahoe. Remember, the Grizzlies will have Military Night on Saturday, March 14th. As Grizzlies win the faceoff, they throw it towards the left corner. As Connors trying to get the puck, but Kapchek cut in front of him. Trent Zwick, the big 6'6" forward, tried to move it out to center ice. Grizzlies kept it in the left point. They fired in deep. Connors delivers a push on a Night Monster as Connors and Kapchek battle behind Tahoe's net. Barbashev in the area as the puck goes back towards Tahoe. And they will sky it into the Grizzlies zone. The puck will wobble towards Wells. It's cut off by Salem about 10 feet in front of Wells. He'll move it out to the far side. Now Tahoe picks it off. Left wing, Kapchek gets it off the boards. He gets some lumber. Now back towards the left wing. Callan with a shot, and it's blocked. Might have gotten towards Wells. And now we get a whistle as Luke Salem is in front of the crease on 2 knees. Well, play starting to get physical. A lot of cross checks and a lot of high hits. Hopefully Salem's all right with 9:34 left in the second period. Tahoe leads 4-1. We'll see if the Grizzlies have a comeback on the other side. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
Grisby commutes to work by riding UTA. It gives him time to make friends and relax before arriving to the Maverick Center. But how can Grisby keep enjoying that feeling throughout the entire day? An idea! Utah Transit Authority, proud sponsors of the Utah Grizzlies.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
Now, Grizzlies looking to end their 3-game losing skid, but it's Tahoe that has a 4-1 lead. Looks like the Knight Monsters picked up a penalty. We didn't get to see the signal, but on the score bug it says that Trent Zwick has a 2-minute penalty, so the Grizzlies will be on the power play for the second time tonight. Utah is 19.8% on the power play this season. Tahoe's penalty kill is at 82.3%, but remember, Tahoe does have 7 shorthanded goals this season, which are the second most in the league. Grizzlies have outshot the Knight Monsters 27-14, but Tahoe has an 8-7 edge in the shot count in the second period. Jack Ricketts take the draw against Tahoe's Casey Bailey. Nate Callan is on the ice for Tahoe. He's got 1 goal and 2 assists tonight. As the draw kind of stays in the circle, both teams jostling for it. Grizzlies get Shea high slot. Lefty shot in a one-timer. That's sticked away by Paperny as the puck goes towards the near corner. Grizzlies skate from left to right in the period. High slot. Lefty shot. That's blocked away by Paperny. He'll let the Knight Monsters get the rebound, but it goes back up top to Hanson Mukata. He's in the left point. He'll feed it to the corner. Dancing around his Lebster to the middle of the ice for Ricketts. Ricketts shuffles his feet and gets it towards the right wing for Shea, who gets it off the boards. Shea near the right corner. Gets up top to Ricketts, but the puck lifted a little bit and went over Ricketts' stick back into the Grizzlies zone. Tahoe will get 4 fresh tires on their penalty kill. As 1:20 left in Utah's power play and less than 9 minutes left in the second period, Grizzlies trail 4-1. Over to the near side, Ricketts accelerates across center ice, trying to jump cut. Dropped it for Gratton. Now the Grizzlies re-enter the zone. Ricketts tried to drop it, but the Knight Monsters clear it back towards the Utah blue line. So Utah will start filtering some players on and off the ice. Tahoe makes another line change. Lebster crosses center ice, skates along the right wing, steps over the offense line, dangles back and forth, stops before he gets to the corner, gets it up top. Connors, he'll take a righty shot. That's tipped away by Paperny, and it flies out of play with 8:21 left in the second. So Connors, he had some good looks in the third period on Friday. Had a good look there from the right point, sticked away by Paperny. So Grizzlies complete the line change. Dana Genev and Aiden Hansen-Bukata each have 8 power play assists. Genev is now on the ice. Evan Friesen talking things over. As Barbashev's on the ice, taking the draw is Riley Connors against Adam Pitters. Connors crouches down low. Pitters not very big, 5'10", 181 pounds, 4 goals in 34 games this season. And Al Connors is kicked out of the face-off circle. Grizzlies in their white jerseys with black numbers and professional green trim, white helmets, black trunks. As Friesen will take the draw. Friesen wins the faceoff, feeds up top to Genev. Cross-ice pass, righty shot, saved by Paperny. He holds on. I think that shot was taken by Robbie Stucker in the left wing. How about Stucker? He's been a strong contributor for the Grizzlies after coming over in a trade a month ago from the Reading Royals. Stucker has 7 points in his last 8 games, 1 goal and 6 assists. He's a +4 in his last 8 games. He was a +3 on January 2nd at Wichita. Draw one by Utah. Stucker across to Genev. One-timer. And nobody knows where it is. Looks like it might be in the equipment of a Tahoe player. As a Tahoe player starts skating towards the bench, he might have blocked it and might have ricocheted out of play. His shot was taken by Genev, and everybody was looking around trying to figure out where it was. So there's 8:09 left in the second period and 35 seconds left in the power play. 8th straight road game for the Grizzlies. Obviously, the weekend worth of a player strike happened when the Grizzlies were going to host the Idaho Steelheads. So oddly enough, when the Grizzlies hit the Maverick Center ice on January 18th, they'll have gone over a month without a home game. Genev gets it back to the right side after the Grizzlies won the faceoff. Barbashev drops it back for Genev. Genev just outside the right circle. Take a lefty shot, goes just wide. Boy, it looked like Paperny didn't see it. Now the puck is cleared back into the Grizzly zone. Paperny didn't really see it. If Genev would have had the accuracy, would have scored with ease. As the Grizzlies back towards new tries, dangling back and forth in the left wing. Utah stops for the offensive line. Barbashev, who is a former Rangers draft pick, out of freezing down the middle for Stucker. He'll take a righty shot, and that's blocked away. Now to the middle of the ice. It's pitchfork out by Tahoe. Fresh out of the box is Trent Zwick, as he'll get the puck over in the left corner. Zwick looking for a centering pass to Bailey. Shot goes just wide, as Wells kind of leaned forward to try to pick it off, but Bailey missed wide. Gillette lets it go on a delayed offside as the Grizzlies will tag up at new tries. 7:10 on a moving clock. Second period, Tahoe leads 4-1. As driven in by Lyndon Algier, is a +5 this season. Now right wing, Tahoe look to center to Zwick. Zwick gets it, lefty shot, and he scores. Trent Zwick now has a goal in 7 of his last 8 games. As he got a centering pass, and Zwick connected to make it a 5-1 game. So it's just not the Grizzlies' night. Tahoe with 2 goals in the first and now 3 in the second. As there was a turnover as Gansky was over in the right corner. And a couple passes later, as Gansky tried to get ahead towards Ricketts, it was picked off. And 2 passes later, they're able to find Trent Zwick out in front of the net. So 5 goals on 15 shots for the Night Monsters. Even though the Grizzlies have had some chances, it's been all Night Monsters here in the second period. It was a 2-1 game going into the second period, but now it's 5-1. As Tahoe wins the draw, Blake Wells dumps it in. Aiden Hansen-Bukata chasing after it. And now it's cleared all the way deep into the Tahoe zone. No icing as Reed Lepster is behind the Tahoe defense. Lepster looked to center to bounce off a stick. Now the Grizzlies in the right wing get it up top. Hansen-Bukata, his shot is blocked away. Not sure if Paperny got a piece of it. Now Blake Wells will cross center ice. Wells over the offensive line. Gets towards the right wing. Now back towards Wells, who shields Hansen-Bukata from the puck. And now the Night Monsters get it up top. Tahoe dancing around as Casey Bailey tried to one-hand it ahead, and he gets cut off by Hansen-Bukata. Grizzlies slide it back towards new tries where Tahoe resets. Dancing in the middle of the ice, Samuel Mayer pivots towards his right. Night Monsters get it in deep, and they make a line change. Salem gets it behind Utah's net. Now back towards Barbashev, who whips it around towards the right wing. Shea gets the puck, and he'll get it to new tries for Connors off his skate. Connors regathers it. He strides along the left wing. He dumps it in from new tries. The puck bounces towards the Tahoe backboard. Now the Night Monsters out towards center ice. Tahoe gets it towards Luke Adam, who has one of the goals in the second period. He'll throw it to the middle of the ice. Righty shot by McGrew goes over the crossbar as it taps off the glass. As Tahoe back towards the right wing. Now they get to the right corner. 5-1 Tahoe, 5.5 minutes left in the second period. Back towards the left wing. Taylor gets it. He fires lefty shot, and that's sticked away. Adam got a piece of it as he was battling with Stucker. Now Stucker gets the puck. He'll throw it to the middle of the ice. Neil Shea will race with long strides out towards center ice. He gains center ice and fires on to Paperny as the Grizzlies will switch up skaters. Long outlet pass, angle right, as a Night Monster cuts it off. As they tried to hold their ground, a couple players kind of hold each other. Now Geneva gets the puck, skates towards the left circle, take a lefty shot. And that one goes wide. Geneva is an exciting player to watch. He's lightning on skates. As he created a good scoring chance out of just about nothing. As Geneva came into play second in the league in shots on goal with 120. As Gansky has the puck, he's in the Grizzly zone. He'll move it across Utah with a diagonal feed angle right towards Gillette over the line. Gillette trying to get towards Geneva. It was overled all the way towards Paperny. Paperny will clear it out to new tries. Bitters will plop one in. Swick, who scored Tahoe's 5th goal, couldn't quite get there before Stucker. Swick doesn't have much speed, although he is 6'6". Now the Grizzlies will bounce one deep into the Tahoe zone far corner. Night Monsters skate around Paperny's net. As Mayer was back checked by a Grizzly. He'll get it in deep. It ricocheted off a Grizzly. Didn't ricochet off a Grizzly stick. Icing is on Tahoe with 4:16 left in the second. Of course, among this long road trip, the Grizzlies have been at home. Obviously, they were home for the extended Christmas break. And then after the Wichita series last weekend, where the Grizzlies picked up 3 out of 6 standings points, Utah did return home to the Salt Lake Valley for a few days. They got a couple practices in before heading out to Tahoe. As a draw won by Utah, dancing down the middle of the ice, Lepster will take a righty shot that goes wide. Now ends with a fire towards the net and hits the outside of the cage. Ends as Utah's lone goal tonight. He has 4 on the season, as he has a goal in 2 of his last 3 games. Tahoe will saucer one in deep in the Grizzly zone as Lepster gets the puck as he'll skate around Wells' net. Now Lepster strides along the right wing. Diagonal feed off of Casey Bailey. Now the Knight Monsters get it back as they'll chip it ahead as Tahoe will deal it towards their right, but it was overled. And now Tahoe's called for icing with 3:42 left in the second. Passing hasn't exactly been crisp on either side here so far tonight. But the one thing you can say about Utah is all the shots they're getting. 20 shots in the first and already 14 in the second. So 34 shots, but Tahoe's got 5 goals and 16 shots. Trent Zwick scored 13:03 in. Casey Bailey right now is listed with the lone assist, although I think there was 2 passes that got the puck towards Zwick after the Grizzlies turned it over. Utah wins the draw as Kennedy gets it back towards Gansky, who shoulder fakes around Collins. Now Gansky dances around for a 6'7" defenseman. Gansky really skates well. As Grizzlies get it back towards the right wing, Hanson Buchanan will feed it towards the right circle. Neil Shea, he'll fire a prayer towards the net, and it's blocked about 10 feet in front of Paperny. Tahoe clears it back to center ice. Shea will bounce one towards Kennedy on side. He'll move it to the left wing. 3.5 minutes left. Connor skates in. Righty shot, and a blocker saved by Paperny as it bounced off of Paperny towards the near corner. Grizzlies skate from left to right here in the period. Kennedy battles with a Knight Monster. Now Connors gets the puck, right wing. Righty shot goes over the crossbar. As now the puck back in deep. Shea tried to sweep one out in front, looking for Lepster, and it's wide of the mark. Make that Connors. Now the puck goes back to the Utah line. Utah will bounce it at center ice. Now they get towards the left wing. It's off of Gillette's stick, and it goes deep into the Tahoe zone. Gillette hustles after it. He gets her about the same time as Callan. Callan now takes control of the puck. He'll backhand it as the puck gets some air and bounces at center ice. Knight Monsters over the offensive line. Now they get towards the right wing. Now down the middle. A Tahoe player just kind of had a different angle. He was skating in from where the puck was. Now the Grizzlies clear it back to the Tahoe line. As Tahoe with a strong lead. Diagonal feed angle right goes past number 10, Michael Leary. Now the Grizzlies dump it in, but they did so from their territory on their side of center ice. So icing is on the Grizzlies with 2:16 left in the second. So draw is going to come back towards Dylan Wells. Another action in the Mountain Division. Idaho defeats Greensboro 7-4. Late third period, Rapid City's clinging to a 3-2 lead over Indy. Other action, it's gone final in the Mountain Division. Kansas City over Tulsa 5-1 and in a shootout. Danny Caddick got the game winner. Allen defeats Wichita 5-4. We'll go over all the scores from around the world of sports during the second intermission. Tahoe wins the draw. Taylor gets behind Utah's net. Now back towards the left wing. Now back up top towards Taylor. Left side will feed it towards the left wing. Now back to Taylor. High slot. He fires it towards the left corner. Now off the boards. McGrew, the righty shot, saved by Wells. Grizzlies come back the other way. Utah will get it towards Gillette, but he had to extend his stick to get it, so he just dumped it in from neutral ice at the end of his shift. Less than 2 minutes left in the second as the Knight Monsters sky it off the glass, and it goes out of play. So draw is going to be in the Tahoe zone with 1:49 left in the second. So I think we're going to have some time to just kind of talk a little bit of hockey during the third period. I wish that the camera would pan towards the Tahoe equipment manager, Jackson Hibbard, so we could talk about him a little bit. Hibbard was the Grizzlies head equipment manager each of the last 2 years, and before that was assistant equipment manager for a few years. As the Grizzlies have had a pretty strong lineage and heritage of equipment managers, especially over the last decade. A couple of them are in the National Hockey League, Matthew Schwegman and Chris Shornack. As the Knight Monsters skied into the Grizzlies zone. 1.5 minutes left in the second period. DJ McFarland's doing an outstanding job as first-year head equipment manager, shot from the right wing, and it looked like a Night Monster crashed towards Wells. And with that, there's quite a few bodies in the crease. There's a Night Monster, and that's Derflinger, who's sitting in the crease. Now he gets back to his feet. Believe it or not, Derflinger has only played in about 20 games as a Night Monster. They're going to have a Jake Derflinger look-alike contest tomorrow. Derflinger sporting a beard. It's kind of a modest-sized beard, but they're going to have a Jake Derflinger look-alike contest. He has appeared in 22 games with Tahoe. It's game 23. Normally, you'd expect that from somebody who's in their fifth year with the club. Obviously, Tahoe is only a second-year club, only their second year of existence. But they're going to have a Jake Derflinger look-alike contest. So if you go online and look up Jake Derflinger, and if you think you look like him, get on a plane and get out to Tahoe for tomorrow's game. Minute 33 left in the second period. 5-1 Tahoe. As the Night Monsters have the puck. Now they roll it around the boards. Grizzlies will get it at the near goal line. Grizzlies will pitchfork it ahead. It goes deep into the Tahoe zone. Night Monsters race after it. Getting the puck with good speed is Brendan Dowler. He's a 6'3 defenseman. Tahoe is a pretty big team. In fact, they're probably as big as Allen is physically. As the Night Monsters skate towards the left corner. Now back behind Utah's net. As Gratton gets it in the side, as Wells looks over his left shoulder. About a minute left in the second period. As the Grizzlies get the puck, they'll plop one towards Lebster. And now Gansky gets in the right wing. He'll drop it back for Lebster. Skates towards the right circle. Righty shot kick save off the right pad of Paperny. And the rebound goes towards Tahoe. Skating towards center ice is Devin Poliani. And he fired away. And it's kicked by Wells' right pad. Poliani had 2 goals and 1 assist last night. Stucker will sky it towards center ice, towards the far wing. Now the Night Monsters skate back in. Poliani gets the puck right side. Dangling back and forth. He gets it chipped away by Connors. Now the Night Monsters puck in front of the crease. And the Grizzlies will clear it out to center ice. As a foot race, Riley Connors closed the gap on Callan, but Callan comes away with the puck. Good hustle and good effort by Riley Connors. Now Connors gets the puck, 12 seconds left in the period. And he moved it back towards center ice. I think he thought the Grizzlies were offside. Now the Night Monsters off a Grizzlies stick. The puck bounces towards the Utah line. Grizzlies backhanded ahead. And at the buzzer, Shea fires towards Paperny, who makes a glove save about 3 feet in front of his crease. And so that will do it for 40 minutes over at Tahoe Blue Event Center. Night Monsters scored 2 in the first and 3 in the second. And the Grizzlies, their lone goal was scored by Colby Enns with just under 5 minutes left in the first period. We'll come back and recap the first 40 minutes and also go over some scores from around the world of sports. Night Monsters lead the Grizzlies 5-1. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to AmericaFirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
After 2 periods over at Tahoe Blue Event Center, Grizzlies trail 5-1. I'm Tyson Whiting, hanging out in the Professional Green Studios just outside the Grizzlies team store at Maverick Center And, the Grizzlies have been shorthanded quite a few times this season. They played pretty well shorthanded, so the fact the Grizzlies are rolling with 15 skaters really isn't much of an excuse. As if you joined us late and didn't see the news, Sage Weinstein was recalled to the AHL's Colorado Eagles. He's got 2 assists in 26 games. He had 1 assist last night. And with Christian Felton and Avery Winslow both battling injuries, the Grizzlies have 5 defensemen. Utah went into Tahoe with 11 forwards, and Stepan Timofeyev, we didn't see him during the third period of last night's game, and it appears he was unable to go with an injury of some kind. So Grizzlies are rolling with 10 forwards. Unfortunately, it's just been all Night Monsters here tonight as they lead 5-1. Tahoe got on the board 3:07 into the first period as Jake McGrew got his 9th of the year. Nate Callan and Luke Adam with the assists, and then Callan made it a 2-0 game as he split between a couple Grizzly defensemen in the middle of the ice, got the puck, and threw it past Dylan Wells to make it a 2-0 game. Grizzlies got on the board as Colby Enns scored Utah's lone goal 15-20 in. Oddly enough, Enns scored Utah's lone goal last Saturday in a 6-1 loss to the Wichita Thunder. So Tahoe led 2-1 after 20 minutes of play. Night Monsters, if we're being quite frank about it, they dominated the second period. Luke Adam made it a 3-1 game. He scored his 8th of the year, as couldn't tell if it was a redirection or if it's a hot pass from the left point or if he got a rebound off of Wells, but Luke Adams scored 5:28 in with Callan, and Samuel Mayer gave him the assist. And how about Callan? He's having a night. He's got 1 goal and 2 assists and a +2. He's a Tahoe defenseman wearing number 26, and he leads the Night Monsters coming into play tonight with a +15 rating. And with the +2 tonight, he's now at +17 on the season. Grizzlies turned it over, and then Blake Wells got the puck to McGrew. McGrew bounced it off of Wells' right pad, and Anthony Collins, the 13th-year pro, got the rebound and fired it past Wells for his 2nd goal of the year. That made it a 4-1 game, 8:42 win. And then Trent Zwick extended Tahoe's lead. He scored 13:03 in at Zwick's 14th of the year. He now has a goal in 7 of his last 8 games, and his point-scoring streaks extended to 8. Casey Bailey picked up the lone assist, and Bailey now has 20 assists on the season. So that made it a 5-1 game. It was scored 13:03 in, and that's where we sit after 40 minutes of play. The Grizzlies are 0 for 2 on the power play, and Utah once again has been very disciplined in staying out of the box. Tahoe last night had 1 abbreviated penalty, and so the Grizzlies were 1 for 1 on the penalty kill last night, and they haven't committed a penalty here this evening, which, you can have a long debate as to whether that's a good thing. Sometimes you see the teams that are in first place in the standings and they're towards the top of the league in penalty minutes. Sometimes it kind of, you can make the case that it goes hand in hand with hustle. And, if you're hustling and you're playing as hard as you can, sometimes you're just going to commit a penalty from time to time. So the Grizzlies have been disciplined. They were a disciplined club last year. Unfortunately, it just hasn't quite translated. Grizzlies are a decent penalty kill unit at 81% this season. In fact, I think they're 81 for 100 on the PK this year, and so they haven't committed many penalties. They're only they only have about just over 3 penalty kills on average per game. So they've done a good job staying out of the penalty box. But just one of those things you kind of wonder if. You wonder about, you never want to question effort, but, Grizzlies have been a disciplined team staying out of the box. Have only had 1 abbreviated penalty kill so far in this series. In terms of shots, Danny Genev and Tyler Gratton each lead the way with 5 each. Reed Lebster with 4 shots. Noah Gansky, Neil Shea, and John Gillette and Jack Ricketts. Those 4 skaters have 3 shots for Utah. Goaltending, Dylan Wells has saved 15 of 20. And on the other side, Jordan Paperny has stopped 35 of 36. So the Grizzlies already above their average in terms of shots with 36 through 2 periods. Over the last 5 games, they've averaged 39.8 shots per game. Other action in the league, we went over the Mountain Division scores. Looks like Rapid City is not only held on, but they got an empty net goal by Brett Davis. Rapid City defeats Indy 4-2. Idaho gets a 7-4 win over the Greensboro Gargoyles, as Idaho scored early and often tonight. Scores from 6 different players. Caleb Pearson had 2 goals for Idaho. Other finals involving Mountain Division teams we went over. Allen gets a 5-4 shootout victory over Wichita. Danny Caddick with the game winner. Kansas City defeats Tulsa 5-1. Other action in the league. Wheeling defeats Trois-Rivières 5-0. Fort Wayne gets a 3-2 win over Toledo. Former rush forward Alex Aliardi scored the game winner 16:42 in. South Carolina gets a game winner 6:32 into the third period from former Night Monster Simon Pinard. South Carolina 2, and Keaton Mastrodonato's Greenville Swamp Rabbits 1. Guy Karenza and Jared Youngman's Atlanta Gladiators lose to Savannah 3-2. Goals from 3 different Savannah Ghost Pirates. Savannah had 2 goals in the first, 1 in the second. Atlanta 1 goal in the first and 1 in the third. Maine gets a 2-0 shutout victory over Reading. Jacksonville defeats Orlando 4-3 in overtime. Brown scored the OT game winner 2:50 in. Jeff Carr's Norfolk Admirals defeat Adirondack 4-3. Worcester in overtime gets a 3-2 win over Florida. So a lot of close games in the league. And Kalamazoo defeated Iowa 2-1. The game winner was scored 52 seconds into the third period, and Kalamazoo held on strong to get the 1-goal victory. So that's action across the 4-letter league. When we come back, it's a busy night in the National Hockey League. The Utah Mammoth are off as they got a victory over the Blues last night, and Utah will host Columbus tomorrow. Columbus did face the Colorado Eagles earlier today, and a former Grizzly did something outstanding on the Colorado side. We'll tell you about it on the other side. Charles Edward Dastu had a big game for the Tampa Bay Lightning. We'll go over the NHL scores as well as some NFL playoff scores on the other side. After 2 periods, Tahoe leads Utah 5-1. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
Busy night in the National Hockey League. And how about Trent Miner? The former Grizzly goaltender gets his first NHL victory as he got a 29-save shutout as the Avalanche defeated the Columbus Blue Jackets 4-0. It was the first game in a back-to-back for Columbus, who will be in the Salt Lake Valley tomorrow as Columbus will take on the Utah Mammoth at 5 o'clock. That should be an interesting one. Mammoth have played good hockey as of late. And how about Trent Miner, the Grizzlies' all-time shutout king? Remember, he had 7 shutouts in the 2021-22 Mountain Division Championship year. He had another 3 shutouts the following season, had 1 playoff shutout in 2023. We talked about during the first intermission where everybody in the Grizzlies office, everybody in the Grizzlies locker room really felt like Utah had a chance against the mighty Idaho Steelheads in the 2023 playoffs. And that was considering Idaho had one of the best regular seasons in league history. But because the Grizzlies had Trent Miner and guys like Taryn Pfizer, Utah felt like they had a good chance in that series, and they really did. They won the first 2 games on the road in that series before losing 4 straight in overtime. And a big reason as to why the Grizzlies had a chance in that series, and a big reason as to why the Grizzlies won the Mountain Division Championship in 2022 was Trent Miner and a very talented defensive unit. Colorado defeats Columbus 4-0 this afternoon, and Trent Miner gets his first NHL victory. After 2 periods, the LA Kings and Edmonton Oilers are tied at 2. Those franchises joined at the hip. Leon Draisaitl was both of the Edmonton goals. Obviously, everybody remembers the trade back in the summer of 1988 when Wayne Gretzky went from the Oilers to the LA Kings. Also, after 2 periods, the Golden Knights have a 3-1 lead over the Blues. Blues are really struggling this year as Vegas got a first period goal from Mitch Marner and second period goals from Jack Eichel and Shea Theodore. How about the Bruins? They get a 10-2 national TV blow. What was it? It was a whooping. I'm not even sure I can describe the kind of beatdown that the Bruins took to the New York Rangers. That's a felony in 43 states. Luckily, Massachusetts isn't one of them, as Boston gets a 10-2 victory over the New York Rangers this afternoon on national TV. Flames over the Penguins 2-1. Sharks get an overtime game winner from Tyler Toffoli. Sharks 5, Dallas 4. Sabres over the Ducks 5-3. How about the Sabres? They're playing good hockey as of late. Maple Leafs over the Canucks 5-0. As Joseph Woll was just that. He was a brick wall for Toronto. He gets a 29-save shutout. Detroit gets a 4-0 victory over Montreal as John Gibson had a 27-save shutout for the Red Wings. As Detroit, they're looking to find a way to reach the postseason for the first time in many, many years. And they're kind of that example of the team that rebuilds, and you think all rebuilds eventually are going to have a happy ending. But, for Detroit, that rebuild's taken a little bit longer than they would have liked. Senators are a struggling hockey team. They lose to the Panthers 3-2 this afternoon. Lightning get 2 assists from former Grizzly Charles-Edward Dastu. Tampa 7, Philadelphia 2. A multiple goal game for Nikita Kucherov. Hurricanes over the Kraken 3-2. Blackhawks get a 3-0 shutout victory over Nashville. And in overtime, the Islanders defeat the Wild 4-3. And Simon Holmstrom scored the OT game winner, 134 in. It was his 12th goal of the season. Action in the National Football League. Rams defeat the Panthers 34-31. And how about the Chicago Bears? A fourth quarter comeback. The Bears were trailing late in the fourth quarter, but they come back and defeat the Packers 31-27. Caleb Williams, 361 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. The former Utah State quarterback Jordan Love had 4 touchdowns and no interceptions for Green Bay. Jordan Love played outstanding, but look at the Chicago Bears. They advance to the divisional round as they defeat Green Bay in a comeback, 31-27. That's the second time in the last few weeks that the Bears have come back at home against the Packers. Remember, late in the regular season, the Bears had that comeback victory and eventually won in overtime when DJ Moore scored the game winner. That was on a Saturday night in late December. And here in the wild card playoffs, the Bears get a comeback victory over the Packers 31-27. In college basketball, Utah State gets a big victory over Boise State as Utah State goes to 14-1 on the year. And late in the second half, BYU leads Utah 74-70. BYU is the ninth ranked team in the country. They're 14-1 on the year. The Utes, with first-year head coach Alex Jensen, is 8-7. So BYU late in the second half leads Utah 74-70. AJ DeBansa has 19 points. Richie Saunders has 20 points and 10 rebounds for BYU. Brown and McHenry each have 19 points for the Utes. Over at Tahoe Blue Event Center, the Knight Monsters lead the Grizzlies 5-1. It's Military Appreciation Weekend over in Tahoe. Remember, the Grizzlies will have Military Appreciation Weekend with Military Appreciation Night on March 14th, as the Grizzlies that night will host the Tulsa Oilers. We'll come back and have third period action on the other side. You've been tuned into the Intermission Report on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe that you should get more from less. Like exclusive tires we design ourselves means more tires made for the roads that you drive, less compromise. And we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. It's more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. And our 60-day satisfaction guarantee means you'll be way more satisfied and way less stressed. For all this and more, you get more from less.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
Now we're about set for third period action over at Tahoe Blue Event Center. It's the second of a three-game set, and Tahoe leads Utah 5-1. Don't forget, these teams will meet 9 times during the regular season. The last of this three-game series and the last of 9 straight road games for the Grizzlies will be tomorrow afternoon. 3:50 pregame show, 4:05 face-off in the Mountain Time Zone. And we'll see if the Grizzlies, obviously, whether the Grizzlies come back in this game or not, you'd like to see a good 20-minute effort here to close things out and see if the Grizzlies can use that as a little bit of momentum heading into Sunday's game. Utah is shorthanded with just 15 skaters, but you don't really want to use that as much of an excuse considering that the Grizzlies have had many occasions where they've been shorthanded in terms of skaters, and they played good hockey in those particular games. As it looks like we have an extended kiss cam going on over at Tahoe Blue Event Center. Fans appear to be having a good time. 20 minutes are put on the clock, and we're hanging out in the professional green studios. We do ask for a little bit of patience, though, in trying to describe the game, as unfortunately we are on a remote feed. And as Connors will take the draw, he's got Kennedy to his left and Barbashev to his right. So Grizzlies have switched up the forward lines quite a bit here tonight, as they've got 10 forwards that we know of, with Timofeyev unable to go this evening. Let's draw one by Tahoe. Grizzlies skate from right to left as we see the game on Flow Sports. Tahoe from left to right. As Grizzlies have already taken 36 shots, they are averaging about 40 shots per game over the last 5 games. Utah behind their net as Dylan Wells is in there. He has saved 15 of 20 as the Grizzlies get out towards center ice. Grizzlies cross center. Stepping over the offense line is Riley Connors. Dumps into the corner. Connors delivers a push on the former Newfoundland Growler, Brennan Kapchek. As now over towards the corner. Kennedy gets it. Right side. Drops it off. Connors trying to get there, but the Night Monsters got there a step ahead of him. Tahoe crosses center ice, and they'll bounce one in. Wells cuts it out behind his net, and he'll drift the puck towards the near side for Barbashev off his stick. Right wing righty shot, and that one goes wide. That was taken by, I believe, by Kapchek, number 96. As the Night Monsters will make their first line change of the third period, so will the Grizzlies. Trent Zwick, the big 6'6" forward, will push one towards his left, ricocheting off the boards. It was overled for Samuel Mayer. Now the Grizzlies dump it in, but they did so from Utah ice. So icing is on the Grizzlies with 18:55 left in the third. We're hoping at some point during this series, they will spotlight equipment manager Jackson Hibbert, the former Grizzlies head equipment manager. As you mentioned, the Grizzlies have had a strong lineage of equipment managers over the years. DJ McFarland's doing an outstanding job in his first season as Grizzlies head equipment manager. Jackson Hibbert was the head equipment manager the previous 2 years. Before that, Mason Wayland was there for 2 years. And then Matthew Schwegman, who's currently an assistant equipment manager with the Utah Mammoth. He was with the Grizzlies for a couple of years. And before that was Chris Shornack, who I believe is an assistant equipment manager in the National Hockey League. Last I remembered, he was with the LA Kings. Grizzlies trying to center it to Genev. Puck is held up in the slot. As now Jack Ricketts skates around Tahoe's net. Ricketts now to the right wing. Dances back and forth. Ricketts will feed it behind Tahoe's net for Gillette. Back to Ricketts' right wing. He'll take a lefty shot and it goes wide. Salem gets it off the boards. Left wing, he fires lefty shot. And that one's saved by Paperny. John Gillette was net front. Almost looked like Salem was trying to ricochet it off of Gillette. But Paperny makes a stop with 18:25 left in the third. Game 32 of 72 in the regular season for the Grizzlies. Oddly enough, this is the 21st road games. Utah's only played 11 home games, meaning that in the second half of the season, Utah's going to be at home quite a bit. Make sure to get your tickets for this Grizzlies final hunt at UtahGrizzlies.com. Grizzlies win the draw. High slot. Shots blocked. Tahoe will nudge it out towards Grizzlies ice. Utah gets it at their blue line. Anthony Mukata will drift one towards his left. Lebster, horizontal pass off the boards for Stucker. Stucker skates towards the right circle. He fires a righty shot, and that one goes wide. As Paperny looks over his right shoulder. Action towards the end boards. Now Hanson Mukata along the left wing. He gets it taken away. Tahoe 2-on-2. They cross center ice. Now 2-on-3. 3-on-3 into the Grizzlies zone. Puck back around the boards for Derflinger on the right side. They'll reverse it back to the left wing. Tahoe cuts it off in the point. Now they'll cycle it back to the corner as Derflinger gets pushed by Hanson Bukata. 3 Grizzlies in a scrum along with 2 Night Monsters. Now a 4th Grizzly joins the play. Gratton, the Grizzlies captain, comes out with the puck as he'll get it towards Reed Lebster. Skates to the middle of the ice. Now he'll nudge one towards his right. Friesen dumps it in. Shea will replace Gratton as Shea's on the ice. He'll chase after a Night Monster as Tahoe will saucer it out towards center ice, and it taps off a stick and goes all the way down for a Night Monster icing. 17-19's left in the third. For all the latest information on Utah Grizzlies hockey, go to the webs at utahgrizzlies.com. Or also follow the Grizzlies on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitter, which is now known as X, and TikTok. The Grizzlies are absolute superstars on TikTok. So make sure to follow the Grizzlies on TikTok as well. Grizzlies win the drop. Gansky throws to the right corner. Sharp angled shot saved by Paperny. As the Grizzlies are up to 37 shots on Jordan Paperny. He saved 36 of them. Puck towards the near side. Now to the middle of the ice. Puck goes back towards Colby Enns. As he'll stride along the left wing. He gets to the middle of the ice for Shea, who gets cut off. Shea's been a consistent performer for the Grizzlies all year. As Tahoe gets the puck, they get around Shea and move it out to center ice. As Anthony Collins will plop one in. Collins, a 13th year veteran, spent many years in this league, had a few years with Rapid City. As Tahoe gets the puck back there at center ice. Night Monsters will curl into the offensive zone right side. As Kapchek stops in the right corner, he was a teammate with Shea with Newfoundland. As Utah gets control of the puck, and they'll hike it to Luke Adam, who gloved it and dropped it. Now the Grizzlies get it back along the left wing as Stucker gets spun around. Salem with the puck as Grizzlies will diagonal angle left off the boards to Genev. He'll skate towards the left circle. He makes a fancy move towards the roulette wheel. Genev gets pushed around in the left circle, and that's where the roulette wheel is. It's not along the boards. Tahoe ices the puck. The arm is enthusiastically raised by linesman Will Anderson as there's 16:04 left in the third. We talked about the consistency of Neil Shea. He came into play with a point in 17 of his last 20 games. He's been a high-volume shooter. He has 57 shots over his last 13 games. And he's also been a plus performer. As Neil Shea's a +7 in his last 9 games. And this is his 26th game of the year, and he's got a point in 19 of 25 games. Draws in the left circle. It's won by Utah's Hanson Bukata. Will move it towards his right. As the Grizzlies skate towards the right circle, Gansky with a righty shot, and that gets blocked. There was a lot of traffic in front of Paperny's left shoulder. Hanson Bukata gets it back in deep for Genev. Genev slides in the middle of the ice. Ricketts with a lefty shot and misses wide. There's a lot of bodies towards the far goal line. John Gillette, Dan Genev battle with a couple Night Monsters. Puck slides towards the near corner as Genev make that Ricketts collides with a Night Monster. Now Genev gets the puck left wing, skates towards the middle of the ice on Hanson Bukata back to Genev. One-timer and a save by Paperny. Boy, the Grizzlies collectively just put their glove towards their face. I don't know how Jordan Paperny did that. Oh, that's got to be part of the saves of the week in the league. And I'm not sure the fans, oddly enough, the fans aren't giving him as much of a standing ovation as I would expect. Boy, highway robbery as Genev had a great look from the right side, and somehow Jordan Paperny denied him. So it stays a 5-1 game, draws over in the right circle, as Friesen will take it against Casey Bailey. Well, you got to tip your cap to Jordan Paperny. The Grizzlies have had plenty of good chances on him, and he's played a great game. Tahoe skies it deep into the Grizzlies zone for an icing with 15:21 left in the third. Paperny's in his second year with the Night Monsters, as Tahoe kind of went through a few goalies last year. Paperny played in 28 games at Tahoe and had a record of 16-8-3 with a .920 save percentage. I'm a little bit surprised that the video feed in Tahoe didn't show a replay of that Paperny save, because it looked like it was a dandy. So draws over in the left circle. Evan Friesen will take it against Casey Bailey. We had mentioned Bailey's got 2 different NHL years to his resume, played in part of the 2014-2015 season with Toronto, and then a couple years ago played with the Ottawa Senators. He had 1 goal in 6 games of the 2014-2015 Maple Leafs. Grizzlies get in the left wing as Lebster at the roulette circle. skate around Tahoe's net. Now he feeds it to the right side. Righty shot. And it appears Paperny's made a save as Paperny tapped his stick on the ice 3 or 4 times. I think it was blocked before it got to Paperny and went out of play as Paperny was applauding a teammate for a good effort. So we played about 5 minutes of this third period, and the Grizzlies continue to put the pressure on to the point where they now have 40 shots on goal, and Jordan Paperny has stopped 39 of them. You can tell some of the Grizzlies forwards are getting a little bit frustrated trying to figure out what do we got to do to get a goal around here. Grizzlies have had their chances. And Tahoe's a team. I mean, the Knight Monsters will sky it out towards center ice. Puck ricochets off a couple sticks. Scranton will move it towards the right side for Friesen, who steps over the offensive line, dangles in the right point. He'll fire towards the end boards. Almost did so intentionally, as now Friesen behind Tahoe's net. Feeds to the right side. Kennedy shot, and that's blocked away. Kennedy looking for his first league goal. As he had a few goals in the SBHL with Birmingham earlier this season. Left point. Shot onto Paperny's, kicked away by the right pads of the Tahoe goaltender. 5.5 minutes into the third period. Tahoe over the offense line. They avoid one check of Connors. Now they skeet towards the right corner. Tahoe chips it up top. Callan, right side shot and a score. I don't know if it got redirected out in front. And the Tahoe teammates tell Nate Callan, you got it. As they pat him on the backside, Nate Callan gets a second of the game. And either him or Jordan Paperny's going to be the number one star. Callan now has 2 goals and 2 assists. The Knight Monsters lead 6-1 as Callan fired a prayer from the right wing. And it's just been all Knight Monsters. There was a stick out in front of Dylan Wells. And after the conversation in the celebration pile, they told Nate Callan, you got it. So this night just continues to get tougher and tougher for the Grizzlies. And again, I guess it could be worse. It could be the Utah Jazz. They lost by 53 points at home to the Charlotte Hornets, 150-97. I think my dad actually went to that game. He won free tickets on the radio. And yet the Jazz lost by 55 points, 150-95. And Grizzlies are down 6-1. Right wing, righty shot. And that one bounced off of Paperny. It might have been wide. Tough to really spot where the puck ended up. As now the Grizzlies get it back at center ice. Salem will sky one in. Paperny plays behind his net. It's 6-1 Tahoe. 13:43 on a moving clock, third period. As the Knight Monsters out towards center ice, they lose control of it. Genev will accelerate over the offensive line, skates towards the right circle. Genev backhand shot, saved by Paperny. No rebound, as he's done a great job controlling the rebounds tonight. He holds on with 13:31 left in the third. Utah will have an offensive zone draw on the other side. Nate Callan has 2 goals and 2 assists. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in, and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
So it's the Knight Monsters 6 and the Grizzlies 1. And Nate Callan have a night. As he has 2 goals and 2 assists. He scored 5:40 into the third. It's a similar situation as to what we had last Saturday, where it's a 6-1 game and Colby ends. Last Saturday had Utah's lone goal, and ends has Utah's lone goal tonight as he scored 15:20 into the first. Grizzlies are going to be looking for some bodies, no doubt about it, as they're a little bit shorthanded with 15 skaters. And obviously with these 3-3s they've been playing, it hasn't been ideal. Grizzlies in the offensive zone. As Genev tried to roll one out in front, it's picked off by the Knight Monsters in front of the crease. As Stucker runs it down, as Gansky delivered a blow on Derflinger. As Stucker lost control of the puck on towards the crease, and Wells had to drop it back for Stucker. Now the Grizzlies get left wing over the offense line for Genev. Genev tries to get around Kapchek. And now Genev moves towards the right side looking for Gillette. And Gillette couldn't quite locate it. Now Ricketts back towards the right corner. Gets double teamed over to Genev, who skates behind Tahoe's net. Genev towards the left wing. It looked like he was thinking about the Michigan for a little bit. Of course, Genev played at Penn State, so he probably wasn't a big fan of Michigan. As the Knight Monsters clear it out, and it slides all the way deep along the far wing boards. Icing is called on Tahoe as Colby Enns collects the puck. 12:43 is left in the third, and action will come back towards Jordan Paperny, who's played a strong game for the Knight Monsters as he has saved 41 of 42. So who do you give the number one star of the game to? I'd imagine it'd be Nate Callan with 2 goals and 2 assists. He's a +3. You got to give it for Jordan Paperny. He's played well as well. Friesen will take the draw. Second of a 3-game set. The Grizzlies did, according to the transaction list, acquire a player off waivers from the Adirondack Thunder. Let's see if we can get the name of that player a little bit later on as Tahoe gets the puck. And they'll move it out towards center ice. Now it's winged all the way back as Dylan Wells plays behind his net. And a tough go of it for the Grizzlies defensively. Have now allowed 25 goals over a 4-game stretch. As Friesen towards the left circle, he takes a lefty shot and it's sticked away by Trenton Swick. It stays in play. As right wing Grizzlies get it back towards Gratton. The Grizzlies captain, right wing, lefty shot. And that one's blocked away by Paperny. He has now saved 42 of 43. As Grizzlies a new try, Skansky near Utah's bench. And you can almost tell how shorthanded the Grizzlies are just by, just how few bodies the Grizzlies have on the bench. As they're going to need some reinforcements one way or another. Matthew Boislard, Boyslard, was acquired from Adirondack through a waiver claim earlier today. And that's according to the ECHL transaction list. He is a defenseman, and hopefully he'll join the team, if not tomorrow, then next week against Kansas City. As Lebster will slide it to the middle of the ice at neutral ice. Tahoe will get it ahead. They're looking for Casey Bailey. He couldn't get a piece of it. As Stucker will drop it back in the near corner of the Grizzlies zone. Utah skates from right to left in the third period. Lebster drops it back towards the right wing, right point. Connors with a shot, and that's blocked before it gets towards Paperny. Now Connors gets blasted behind Tahoe's net. Connors gets it back, and he'll get it up top towards Lebster, left point. He'll move it to the high slot for Stucker, but the puck goes back to neutral ice. Stucker will play soccer and kick it deep into the Grizzlies zone, so Utah can make a line change. As Lebster, he gets blasted by a Knight Monster deep in the Utah end. And taking that hit was Connor Merritt, the 6'1" forward wearing number 14. He scored a goal in the first period last night. Tahoe will saucer one deep into the corner as Stucker in the Grizzlies zone gets his skates around Wells' net. Stucker will sky it out towards center ice. So the puck looked like it was trying to be skied, but then ended up sliding along the ice. Knight Monsters back deep in their own zone. We're about halfway through the third period. 6-1 Tahoe. It's been the Nate Callan and Jordan Paperny show. Callan has 2 goals and 2 assists. Paperny saved 41 of 42. Ricketts over in the right corner, dancing around. Surveys, now gets to Genev. Genev wrap around and misses as Grizzlies get it back up top. High slot, Bicanda over towards Ricketts. One-timer saved by Paperny, and Tahoe will clear it out. Puck slides towards the middle of the ice, and before it gets to the crease, Skansky plays it. So it wouldn't have been icing anyway. As diagonal pass long range, angle right, goes past a player hanging out in the Tahoe line as Hanson Bicanda was looking for the long-range feed, and icing is on Utah. As there's 9:57, that's the time remaining in this third period. At this point, you're just kind of hoping to escape this game healthy. We talked about wanting to play 20 good minutes here in the third period. I think now you just want to get on to tomorrow. I think if the Grizzlies could find a way to kind of cut off these final 10 minutes and just get to tomorrow, I think they'd be all right with it, knowing that both teams are going to be about as fatigued as possible. So I think if you're Utah, you might want to see if you can wear Tahoe out a little bit. It's been one of those things. We were hoping, that don't know anything about that waiver claim except for I saw it on the transaction list a couple hours ago about what the Grizzlies picked up is they could use another defenseman at least to get to 6. Because obviously Grizzlies here shorthanded. They were shorthanded going into this series. Tahoe with the puck at the right goal line. They get knocked down by Ricketts. Now Ricketts gets the puck. Grizzlies haven't been shorthanded all night. In fact, they had one abbreviated penalty kill in last night's game. Puck back to neutral ice, and Tahoe will move it in. as well as trying to cut it off, but it ricochets behind him off the backboards. Grizzlies, long-range feed, angle left off a Lepster stick. Now Tahoe will get it back in along the far side. Gansky backhands it across. Hanson Bukata will lunge the puck out towards left wing, tape to Lepster. Lepster pivots. He's just outside the left circle. He takes a righty shot, saved by Paperny off his glove. As action in front of the crease, Tahoe will clear it off the near wing boards, but not out. Salem fires towards the net, and it's blocked. Salem gets it back. He'll bounce one towards Freese, but it hit the opposite over his stick. 2-on-3 Night Monsters over the offensive lines. They skate towards the left when they get cut off. Anthony Collins, the 13th-year pro, will get it across. Now right side, Callan firing for the hat trick and misses wide. Now Callan gets it back, but it goes back to neutral ice. Nate Callan has two goals tonight, and he was looking for a third there with a shot from the right wing. Now the Night Monsters re-enter towards the left wing. They tried to sweep one towards Callan, who was occupied by a Grizzly. That was Maxim Barbashev, and Barbashev will race into the Tahoe zone after a loose puck. Boy, Barbashev's an impressive athlete. Gets the puck, trying to center it to Kennedy, but Kennedy was occupied, lost his balance a little bit. Stucker on the right wing, skates down the middle, gets it towards Connors. One-timer, and that one goes wide glove side on Paperny. Now Stucker, one-timer. That one's kicked away by the right pad of Paperny. Now Stucker fires towards the net. Paperny makes a save. Rebound goes towards Tahoe. Mike O'Leary will calm it down, and he'll sky. It almost hits the video board. Actually, I'm not sure if there's a video board at center ice. I'm not there. As Noah Gansky gets it. If there was a video board at center ice, puck was pretty close to hitting it. As Robbie Stucker dances around, actually don't know where the video board is. There's actually a wall. They're on the left wing is what we're seeing on the left side. I think there's probably a video board there. As Kapchek back deep in his own zone. And when you're doing a radio-style broadcast, you don't really have blowout material. Bailey will get it towards the corner as Poliani, he fires towards the net, hits the outside of the cage. Poliani's a guy that doesn't have that tough a name, but for whatever reason, I'm having a tough time with it this weekend. Around Tahoe's net, now the Night Monsters will clear it out. Hanson Bukata gets it in the far side, and he'll spin it towards the Grizzlies bench. A Grizzly player doesn't play it as he was coming off for a change. Just over 7 minutes left in the third period. It's 6-1 Tahoe as they get it out towards center ice and beyond. And icing once again is going to be called on the Night Monsters. And we've had an abnormal amount of icings here tonight. A lot of fun stuff happening at Maverick Center. The second half of the regular season. Don't forget, Utah will be home for a 3-game set. Join us Friday, January 16th for an AFCU Friday with discounted tickets with your AFCU debit or credit card. Saturday, January 17th is going to be Youth Sports Night. I believe Sensory Friendly Night's going to be on Sunday, January 18th. And all three of those games are against the Kansas City Mavericks. We're a couple weeks away, actually 3 weeks away from the Guns N' Hoses extravaganza with charity games in the afternoon leading up to the Grizzlies game. That's going to be Saturday, January 31st. That's the final Guns N' Hoses game in Grizzlies history. And we're hoping to make it as good as it's ever been. That's certainly been a staple from year to year. That's when the Greenville Swamp Rabbits and Keaton Mastrodonado will be in town. As Grizzlies skate down the middle of the ice, backhand shot, and a score, I believe. It is a score. Grizzlies get on the board. I think it's Reed Lepster getting his 17th of the year. Beautiful backhand move as the camera didn't help us out in trying to identify the player. I believe Reed Lepster gets his 17th of the year as he skated down the middle and fired a beautiful backhand shot past Jordan Paperny. Really no celebrating from the Grizzlies considering what the score is, but Reed Lepster now has a goal in back-to-back games. And with that, he now has a goal in 6 of his last 9 games. So Lepster gets Utah on the board, assisted by Noah Gansky and Luke Salem. Salem now has an assist in back-to-back games. Lepster scored 13-19 into the third. So it's now a 6-2 game. Action in the Tahoe zone. So Grizzlies with a couple hard-working shifts. As the Night Monsters will slide one towards Wells, who lets it go. But no icing on the plays. The Grizzlies skating from right to left. Tahoe gets control of the puck there, just outside the left circle of the offensive zone. They move it across. Right side, shot saved by Wells in the butterfly position. That shot was taken by Brendan Dowler, who's in his second game as a Night Monster. Now behind Utah's net, the net's dislodged. CJ Valerian gets after it with Aiden Hanson-Bukata. Now Anthony Collins delivers a right punch on Riley Connors. And that's certainly what Collins likes to do after the whistle. As he punched Riley Connors, he should get a roughing minor for that. The referee was between those two. Now Valerian and Hanson-Bukata break it up. Looks like the referee's pointing to the penalty box for both of those players. 5:59 left in the third, and it's now a 6-2 game as Reed Lepster found the back of the net, 13-19 in. It's his team leading 17th of the year. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to americafirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Grisby commutes to work by riding UTA. It gives him time to make friends and relax before arriving to the Maverick Center. But how can Grisby keep enjoying that feeling throughout the entire day? An idea! Utah Transit Authority, proud sponsors of the Utah Grizzlies.
It's Tahoe 6, Utah 2. Looks like C.J. Valerian and Aiden Hanson-Bucata each get roughing minors. So we might skate 4-on-4 here late in the third period. 5:59 is the time remaining. As Reed Lepster found the back of the net. It was a beautiful backhand move. If you want to find out, for what we viewed on YouTube and you want to find out what the goal looked like, go to the Grizzlies X account on social media, formerly known as Twitter, and I think a lot of people still call it Twitter. But that's where you can find the highlight of the Reed Lepster goal that was scored just a few minutes ago. Now about Reed Lepster, he led the Grizzlies in many statistical categories during the 2025 calendar year. He now has 6 goals in his last 9 games. As Reed Lepster continues to be a force for Utah. Wasn't really any celebrating after the goal, as unfortunately it's been all Tahoe tonight. As the Knight Monsters with 2 goals in the first, 3 in the second, and 1 in the third. Nate Callan has been the star of stars for the Knight Monsters with 2 goals and 2 assists. He's a +3. And Jordan Paperny has saved 46 of 48. Grizzlies have outshot the Knight Monsters 48-23. But as we've seen time and time again in the sport of hockey, doesn't matter how many shots you get, it's how many ends up getting in the back of the net past the goaltender. Tahoe's Jordan Paperny's played a good game, but the Grizzlies have had their chances. And of those 48 shots, there's been quite a few good grade A chances. Paperny's played a good game, and it took a great move from Reed Lepster to get one past Paperny. So it looks like we're skating. I can't count how many players are on the ice for either side, but there's matching, I believe, roughing minors, Valerian and Hanson-Bucata, and that's exactly what it is. 2 minutes each for roughing. So I think we're skating 4-on-4 here late in the third period. Just kind of waiting the time of game. It started at 7:05 in the Pacific time zone, 8:05 in the Mountain time zone. So we're towards the 2-hour and 25-minute mark here so far. Looks like BYU in college basketball action held on for a victory over the Utah Utes, as BYU's record goes to 14-1 on the year, as BYU got a close victory over the University of Utah. The final score of that game was 89-84. Utah State defeated Boise State 93-68. And now there's a bit of a delay, and we're not entirely sure why. Remember last week, there were some fans that were getting a little bit rowdy near the Grizzlies bench, and the Grizzlies bench wanted those fans to be escorted. There might have been 1, maybe 2 fans that got ejected from that game. We're not entirely sure why things are delayed right now with 5:59 left in the third, but we're going to see just about everybody that's in attendance over at Tahoe Blue Event Center. Yeah, it looks like many folks are having a good time. Now it sounds like they're dancing to YMCA. And now it looks like we're back to live action as YMCA is interrupted by the puck drop as faceoffs in the Grizzlies zone, and we are skating 4-on-4. As now behind Wells' net, they curl it out in front. Good defensive play by Luke Salem, who picked up an assist on that Lepster goal as they try to get towards Mike O'Leary in front of the net. Grizzlies cross center ice. Colby Enns has 1 goal tonight. He scored in back-to-back Saturdays. He fires towards the net, and it goes wide as he missed the net stick side on Paperny. Tahoe will now race across center ice. Stepping over the offensive line, they'll dump it over towards the right corner. Puck is taken by Ricketts, and so he'll drop it after he was skating towards Wells' net. Night Monsters, Nate Callum's on hat trick watch. Callan has 2 goals and 2 assists. As Tahoe gets it back towards Callan, he's in the right point. Callan will backhand it towards the right circle. Adam back towards Callan. He's now on the left wing. Spinorama. Now Callum, he chips one towards the net and it goes wide as he's looking for the hat trick, and that would have been a very fancy goal had he scored it. Callum at center ice near the Grizzlies bench. He'll bounce it off the Utah stick, and I believe that was Genev. Genev comes off the ice for a change. About 55 seconds left in the 4-on-4 as both teams are a little bit spirited. It's a 6-2 Tahoe lead. Puck slides towards the Utah line. Getting the loose puck is Robbie Stucker. Stucker will move it across. Now the Grizzlies will back it out towards Stucker's behind Wells' net. Now Stucker gets in front of Wells, and he'll guide one towards his right. Utah steps over the offensive line as they'll push the puck towards the left point and back to neutral ice. As Noah Gansky will pedal towards the Grizzly zone. Now he gets it towards Stucker. As we got less than 4.5 minutes left in the third period, it's 6-2 Tahoe. Second of a 3-game series. Tahoe won 6-3 last night. The Grizzlies got goals from Danny Genev, John Gillette, and Reed Lebster. As Utah will move it towards the left side for Salem. Salem over there, Poliani. And so get to Lebster. Now back towards the right wing. Lefty shot saved by Paperny as it bounced off his right pad. Now we're skating 5-on-5 as Hanson, Bukata, and Valerian are each out of the penalty box after serving a roughing minor. Tahoe steps over the offensive line left wing. It's tapped away by Enns. Tahoe is able to keep it in, or at least we thought they were able to keep it in. But play stops, and offside are the Night Monsters with 3:47 left in the third. There's a timeout on the ice. Grizzlies have goals from Colby Enns and Reed Lebster at 6-2 Tahoe. It's the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
Late in the third period, 3:47 left. Tahoe leads Utah 6-2. It's a neutral zone draft to the Night Monsters were called for offside. Good night for Chicago sports. The Bears won their playoff game, rallying from 18 down to defeat the Packers. Blackhawks got a 3-0 shutout victory. The Bulls won, which is a rare thing. And the Cubs signed Alex Bregman to a contract. So Bregman, the star third baseman, is now a member of the Cubs. As Friesen took a shot, saved by Paperny. Paperny's now saved 47-49. As Grizzlies and neutralize get it. Friesen over the offensive line. He fires a lefty shot, saved by Paperny. That was a quick-looking wrist shot from the left point. Boy, Evan Friesen can certainly fire it. He had a couple of good looks there on that shift. Paperny made 2 saves, and he holds on as he has now saved 49 of 51. So there's 3:23 left in the third period. Last of this 3-game series and the last of 9 straight road games for the Grizzlies will be tomorrow afternoon. It's not a day game, not a night game. It's a late afternoon face-off at 4 o'clock. Actually, it's 4 o'clock in the Mountain Time Zone, 3 o'clock over in Tahoe. And now every fan is standing and applauding as there's 3:23 left in the third. As the fans now to their feet, everybody that's able. As the Night Monsters get the puck, they're deep in their own zone. As Tahoe with Riley Connors in front of the net. Grizzlies looking for a little bit of that full ice press. Now Tahoe across the center ice left wing. They split a double team, and it's tapped away by Hanson Bukata. Puck back towards Robbie Stucker. We'll skate towards the near side. I wonder if we're going to see Wells for the third straight game or if we're going to see Dominic Bassi. As Bassi played in one of the games against Wichita last week, and obviously be tough for Wells to go 3 games in 3 days in a row. And same would be true for Tahoe as Paperny's played each of the first 2 games. He signed a goaltender earlier today as they were working with an e-bug yesterday. as they had a goaltender called up to the AHL. So it'll be interesting to see who's in net for both clubs. Puck at neutral ice, 2.5 minutes left in the third. As left wing feed at neutral ice, now Genev skates in. Lefty shot goes wide as Paperny slid towards his left to try to cut it off. As Gansky at neutral ice will roll it along the boards. I would say roll it along the roulette wheel, but that's in the circle on the near side of the left wing of the ice and the far side on the right wing, as we see it on Flow Sports. Salem gets hit in the back. He's sporting a sweet-looking mustache. He played with Indy and Kalamazoo last year. Genev over the offensive line. He'll move it to his right. Off the boards, Ricketts trying to get to Genev out in front. It kicks off of Paperny, as that's probably going to be an official shot on goal, which means Paperny's now saved 50 of 52. As off of Hanson Bukata's glove, as a Night Monster will collide with Wells. Skating down the middle of the ice is Ricketts. He fires towards the net, and it goes wide and out of play. Boy, Ricketts just tried to skate down the middle and split about 4 different skaters and did so. It looks like Valerian and Hanson Bukata have some more words for each other, and both linesmen stepped in between of those two. 144 is left in regulation. And barring the biggest miracle in Grizzlies history, it looks like Tahoe is going to win their second straight in this series. And for the Grizzlies, it looks like they'll have lost their fourth straight game. The Night Monsters, it will be their 4th win in their last 5 games. They won 2 out of 3 games at home against the Allen Americans last week. Webster right wing, righty shot goes wide. Webster with a third period goal tonight. He has a third period goal in each of the 2 games in this series. As Tyler Gratton in the left point cycles it around, it's cut off in the left corner by a Night Monster. As they'll get it out to neutral ice, and Wells in front of the crease. They'll just kind of drop it towards his right. 1:18 left in the third. Grizzlies will fall to 13, 16, and 3 on the year, and they will be 10, 9, and 2 on the road. Now icing is called on Tahoe, or make that the Grizzlies. Will go all the way back towards Dylan Wells with 1:12 left in the third. So for the Grizzlies, it's just all about getting back to the drawing board on the defensive side of things. They've given up 25 goals in a 4-game stretch. The Grizzlies have scored enough goals in a few occasions. 3 goals yesterday, another 2 today. And they've had their, Grizzlies had their chances on the offensive side of things. They have to like a lot of what they've done. They haven't had many power plays. Interestingly enough, the Grizzlies haven't had a penalty kill. Hanson Bukata was in the box, but Valerian was in the box for Tahoe. So we're just skating 4-on-4 for 2 minutes. So Utah has done a good job of being disciplined and staying out of the penalty box, but with a quick turnaround, it's not like the Grizzlies can have 2 practices and work on some things before facing Tahoe again. Webster takes it away, gets to the middle of the ice. Kennedy, lefty shot, glove saved by Paperny, as Kennedy got spun around by a Night Monster after following through on the shot. Paperny makes the glove save with 50.8 seconds left as he hands it to the linesman. I'm really looking forward to seeing Sean Kennedy on the Maverick Center ice next week. Looks like he's going to be a pretty good forward. Obviously, just getting his feet wet, probably still getting acquainted with his teammates. But Kennedy was having a good year in the SBHL with the Birmingham Bulls, where he had 6 goals and 25 assists in 27 games. Missed all of last season. Not sure if it was an injury or whatever the case may be, but Kennedy appears to be a forward that can hold his own. He's looked pretty impressive in these 2 games. Right wing, Callum looking for the hat trick. Righty shot kick save off the right pad by Wells. 33 seconds left. As the Night Monsters, an affiliate of the Vegas Golden Knights, the team that Maxim Barbashev's brother Ivan Barbashev plays on. I guess the highlight of the day, unfortunately, with the 6-2 loss would be Trent Miner, the Colorado Avalanche goaltender. The Grizzlies' all-time shutout king picked up a shutout in his first NHL victory today, a 4-0 win over Columbus. Grizzlies got goals from Colby Enns, and that was late in the first period, and a third period goal from Reed Webster. 5 seconds left. The Night Monsters will watch the time run out, and that will do it. The horn sounds. The final score is the Tahoe Knight Monsters 6 and the Utah Grizzlies 2. And with that, people throw stuff on the ice, fake fish and cans and bottles and all sorts of stuff as debris is flying on the ice. The Night Monsters won each of the first 2 games of this series. They won 6-3 last night and 6-2 this evening. So both teams will head to the locker room, and for the Grizzlies, they'll be looking to find a way to salvage the 3rd game of the series on Sunday afternoon. Post-game show starts in 30 seconds. Once again, the final from Tahoe Blue Event Center. It's the Night Monsters 6 and the Grizzlies 2. It's the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Grisby commutes to work by riding UTA. It gives him time to make friends and relax before arriving to the Maverick Center. But how can Grisby keep enjoying that feeling throughout the entire day? An idea! Utah Transit Authority, proud sponsors of the Utah Grizzlies.
Now it's another tough one for the Grizzlies, who have lost 4 straight, as Tahoe comes away with a 6-2 victory, the second of a 3-game series. And for the Grizzlies, it's their 8th straight road game, as their 9th and final game on this crazy road stretch will be tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock. Earlier today, Sage Weinstein was recalled to the AHL's Colorado Eagles, and Stepan Timofeyev, he got injured late in last night's game. Not sure what it is, but he was unable to go this evening. So the Grizzlies went with 15 skaters. Tahoe got on the board first, 3:07 in, as Jake McGrew redirected a Nate Callan shot. Luke Adam also picked up an assist. That was 3:07 into the first. And then Callan split a Grizzly double team down the middle of the ice, got between a couple Grizzly defensemen, and then regathered the puck and fired it past Wells. It was unassisted, 11:25 in. Grizzlies got on the board as Colby Enns fired away from the right wing. He was near the boards, 15-20 in. Enns now has a goal in back-to-back Saturdays, as Colby Enns ended the night a -2. He had one shot and he made it count. It was 15-20 into the first. Tahoe led 2-1 after one period. And unfortunately, from the Grizzlies' perspective, the Night Monsters dominated the second period. Utah did outshoot Tahoe 20-6 in the first period and 16-14 in the second period. But the Night Monsters got second period goals from Luke Adam, 5:28 in. Anthony Collins off a rebound from a Jake McGrew shot made it 4-1, 8:42 in. And then Trenton Swick scored his 14th of the year, 13:03 in. Swick has a goal in 7 of his last 8 games and a point in 8 straight. And so Tahoe led 5-1 after 2 periods. Nate Callan made it a 6-1 game. He scored 5:40 into the third. Pitters and Kapchek with the assists, as Callan ended the night with 2 goals and 2 assists. He was just a +2 and had 4 shots. Grizzlies got back on the board as Reed Lepster skated down the middle of the ice and fired a beautiful backhand shot past Paperny. It was a beautiful move, and it had to be that sort of move to get one past Paperny tonight. Lepster now has a goal in back-to-back games. He now has 17 goals in the season, which lead the Grizzlies, and he's in the top 3 in the league in goals. Noah Gansky and Luke Salem with the assists, and for Salem, he has an assist in each of the 2 games in this series. So that made it a 6-2 game, and that's where it stood. Grizzlies were 0 for 2 on the power play, and oddly enough, the Grizzlies didn't commit a penalty tonight, as they have only had 1 abbreviated penalty kill so far this season. Grizzlies outshot the Night Monsters 17-5 in the third period, and Utah ended the night with 53 shots on goal to Tahoe's 25. But it really didn't matter, did it? As Jordan Paperny stopped 51 of 53, as he picks up the victory. His record goes to 9-3-0-1. Dylan Wells saved 19 of 25, and his record falls to 7-10-2 on the year. Danny Janaev led the Grizzlies in shots on goal. Get this, he had 11 shots tonight. He came into play second in the league with 120 shots and added another 11 to his ledger, and he now has 131 shots on goal. I don't even know if that's the right word to use. I'm not even sure if that's the right way to use the word ledger, but we did so. We'll have to check the definition of that a little bit later on. It sounded good. Lepster and Gratton each had 6 shots, and the Grizzlies had 4 shots from Robbie Stucker. They had plenty of good chances, but just couldn't find a way to get many past Jordan Paperny. Let's see if we can figure out the 3 stars of the game. Third star is Luke Adam, the Tahoe captain, who's 35 years old. He has 90 games of NHL experience, most of them with Buffalo. Also had 3 games with the Columbus Blue Jackets. He's a 16th-year pro, and Adam had 1 goal and 1 assist tonight. He's the third star. Nate Callum had 2 goals and 2 assists. What does a guy got to do to be the number 1 star? As he was just the second star tonight. The number 1 star is the goaltender, Jordan Paperny, who stopped 51 of 53. Among the Grizzlies stars, obviously, Enns and Lepster each had a goal. Noah Gansky was a +1 tonight, and he had 3 shots. He was the only Grizzly that was a positive in the plus-minus category. There was a defenseman the Grizzlies claimed off waivers from Adirondack earlier today. Not sure if he'll be in the lineup tomorrow. Matthew Boislard, Boyslard, claimed off waivers from Adirondack according to the transaction list earlier today. As Grizzlies obviously a bit shorthanded on this road trip, and I think they're hoping that maybe they can get him on a plane over to the Tahoe area, and maybe he can join the Grizzlies for tomorrow afternoon. That were, obviously we're not sure, and I really don't know anything outside of I saw it on the transaction list. So he'd be a good addition coming over from Adirondack. Just one of those things. Grizzlies at times have been an outstanding defensive club this year, but have struggled a little bit over the last 4 games. So hopefully on the Sunday afternoon, the Grizzlies will find a way to salvage the 3rd game of the series and salvage the 9th game of this road trip. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. Don't forget to join us tomorrow afternoon, 3:50 pregame show, 4:05 face-off. Grizzlies are 6 days away from their next home game, which will be on Friday, January 16th, as they begin a 3-game series with Tahoe Knight's Kansas City Mavericks. I'll just about wrap things up. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast and not necessarily the final outcome. Thanks for tuning in with us once again in 2 hours and 33 minutes in front of a good crowd of 4,203 over at Tahoe Blue Event Center. The Knight Monsters defeat the Grizzlies 6-2. I'm Tyson Whiting, and I'm just pursuing my dream, and that's to someday get to the National Hockey League. Tonight we're in the Professional Green Studios here at Maverick Center, and make sure to join us tomorrow. And make sure to get your tickets for next week at Maverick Center in their 3-game series with the Kansas City Mavericks. Once again, the final, the Tahoe Knight Monsters defeat the Utah Grizzlies 6-2. You've been listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network. Good night, everybody.